So, I have a question. How are we going to end this episode?
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Here's some Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Whoa, it's episode 600, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah, because it's not really. It's according to the playlist.
Well, why are we doing this?
Because people
like,
will
"I'm
get
outta
mad
here."
if
I'm
we
leaving.
don't celebrate.
You're not leaving.
I'm gonna
right.
go defend Super Earth.
It's so rare that you're on the show anymore lately. We're gonna keep you when we can get you. Today, we are talking about a book that I have referenced incessantly over the last 600 episodes. And I'm very excited to talk about it here today. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Forceworks.
Oh my God.
Forceworks!
What?
And to celebrate, I have 3 copies of the first issue. And I don't know why. This is another one of those things where I was like, oh, let me get a copy of Forceworks. Oh, let me get
Already
my
have one?
second copy of let me get my third copy of Forceworks. And so, Tiffany, here, you can assemble the cover,
What?
That's why I'm here.
the gimmick of the first issue of Forceworks. And you guys can just have your own copies
Assemble
of
the
the first
cover?
issue
But
of
don't
Forceworks.
assemble the covers.
Yeah, because you'll ruin the book.
What
This one was, you already did this once before, so you can just follow the,
Yeah, let's see if I
I
can.
love gimmicks that ruin the book if you use them.
yeah.
Really? I hate them.
It's great because
was being
apparently
sarcastic.
the first issue of Forceworks was a
Is this right?
attempt by Marvel
Yes.
to honor like a deal that they had made originally with a craftsman who engineered this origami-esque method of comic
not open this thing.
gimmickry.
Oh my God.
This is a
Is it
nightmare.
like stuck together?
It's like glued?
It is using
This is
a
a nightmare.
complicated system not unlike origami that depicts
Ta-da!
a seminal moment from the issue in 3 dimensions.
That's
And
insane.
it's different on both sides.
Yeah.
What am I even looking at?
You're watching Forceworks come together and the noble sacrifice of a time-honored Marvel hero.
Is it
That
working?
Wonder Man?
That's it. You're doing it. That's Wonder Man, yes.
That I don't like this.
No.
It looks like trash.
No, it's
It looks so
good.
stupid.
Look at it. Look at how great it is. And then they just printed scribbles on the other side. It's great. Admittedly, it is like difficult in which they drew the other people like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's
like
an
from
awkward
the top.
perspective.
Yeah.
According to
I
the
don't know how else
article
to do it,
about
though.
it, the Van Damme Unfolds registered trademark technology was chosen on the cover
Technology.
of Forceworks #1, and the pop-up itself was designed to be mounted at an angle on the cover for dramatic effect. Basically, what we're gonna do, Tadeo continued, that's the head of marketing for Marvel, must have gotten a promotion for this, is have the artist draw a regular cover, which will be printed on the cover of the unfolded pop-up, as you can see here. If you were to pull the pop-up off the cover altogether, the underlying area would look the same. The pop-up itself will be sealed down on one edge with a fugitive glue, which is resealable. When you open the
Fugitive?
pop-up,
It is not that fugitive.
Yeah, it's made of oranges and razor blades.
Perfect.
look at this. We're making gimmick covers and fake IDs.
I got it back to you.
I can only assume that the glue worked better when it was
30 years
fresh.
ago.
It's probably
Yeah,
like hardened
yeah.
over
I
When
mean,
you
it's
open the
still-
Yeah, lick
pop-up,
it.
the resulting fold-out is twice the size of the comic book cover and has a die-cut insert in the center featuring a popular Marvel character. I can't say much about it without giving away the shocking events of the first issue. All I can say is it features a dramatic battle aftermath and gives the reader a position of looking down on the results of that battle. The cover will be coated, giving it a rigidity necessary for years of enjoyment. And look
I mean,
look
look,
at the
here it
result of
is.
it now.
It is
Still
rigid.
works.
It has been here for years.
Yes.
I'm not going to comment on the enjoyment.
Well, but the rigidity is there, though. you can't deny the rigidity.
I cannot deny its rigidity.
I mean, having rigidity after 30 years,
say
that's
rigidity.
impressive.
That's not bad, yeah.
What do you think? You have to comment on the rigidity.
No, I refuse. I don't like that word.
How about the turgidness?
Whoa.
That's worse.
And I've never referred to turgidity. That Forceworks is a weird gimmick that happened in 1994, and it's so funny because 1994 was a weird period of change, upheaval, and gimmicks for comics. I need to point out that the #1 book of the year was Spawn Batman. And also Forceworks came out. And Marvel was like really excited about it. So much so that they killed a book to make it happen.
To make Forceworks happen?
That's right, to make Force work.
What did they
It's
kill?
fine. Because of its rigidity, you see.
Uh-huh.
They killed Avengers West Coast, which had been going on for 102 issues.
Well, it's a killer first issue.
It sure is. And in many more ways than one. Not just killing the West Coast Avengers, but also a seminal Marvel character. Well, you don't like Tom Tenney's art? Because Tom Tenney kind of came out of comic retirement to do this book.
Oh no.
Worked really hard on it.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Okay.
Oh, come on, look at those
Who is this
postures
woman?
and
I think it's
faces.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, it's Wanda.
That's Scarlet Witch? Oh.
What is up with her waist?
It's being pinched.
Tiffany, what waist?
There's a hex on it.
This is written by the writing duo of the time of Andy Lanning and Dan Abnett of Guardians of the Galaxy fame.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
What?
And they are on it the entire run of the
Is there any
series.
chance this is good?
You know, that's the thing about ForceWorks is that it has always been a running joke on this couch. And to look at it is to presume that it is hollow and empty and silly and dumb. If you read it, you can see the efforts of two talented creatives who were trying like hell to have their cake and eat it too.
Are they trying to make Force work?
That is exactly what they're doing. They are trying to make a book that is clearly being engineered by editorial to be an X-Men killer, or at least a complement to the X-Men, and be a product of its time by being rad and extreme, and also allow these sci-fi writers to do something cool. That said, these guys were not making their bones on Warhammer stuff and space adventures. They had most recently done a huge Punisher arc, and that was really what got people excited about Abnett and Lanning working on this. And they touted it a lot. And thankfully, in this collection, you can pick up maybe, I don't know if it's out of print or not, but it has all these great articles from like Marvel Age and these discussions about ForceWorks and the development thereof, where they're like,
Who
this is
saved all of
happening.
this?
I mean, like, it's all just on the servers, I don't know, but it's like, it's good, helpful stuff that gives you an indication about like what was going through their minds when they were making Force
What they were
work.
possibly thinking.
That said, it's all the same stuff. Like, the frustrating thing about reading all these articles about the development of ForceWorks is that they are so convinced that this is going to be a success that they don't want to tell you anything about it. Like, there's going to be a bold
can't
new
give it away.
character, and I don't want to give away anything about his crazy new tragic backstory, lest it ruin the surprise. At the very least, they don't wait longer than a year to reveal it, but also they still can't whet your appetite outside of telling you about some things that are in the book and part of their world, like, oh, I don't know, their cool rad computer, or their Danger Room-esque ripoff, or all these other random things, like their not Quinjet, the Hex ship. Like, just random things where I'm like, but what is that?
Why would I care about that? I don't even know
Why
what that
should
is.
I care? And they're like, well, hang on a second. I know you think this sucks. And I'm like, I didn't.
do?
I mean, whoa, I didn't even make any assumptions whatsoever. Like,
Look, we all know what you're thinking.
we know what you're thinking, okay? U.S. agent, he's a ripoff of Captain America. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
And Spider-Woman, just a girl Spider-Man. Lame, right?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah.
And, you know, so we want to get ahead of that by showing you these characters that you were following all in the Avengers West Coast series, but now on a completely, exactly the same team. So the development of ForceWorks is just like, we're doing cool stuff. And hey,
we?
X-Men fans, you might be excited about this because they had done an X-Men Avengers crossover called Blood Ties, which we covered long ago. And that was kind of the death knell of the Avengers West Coast, because we really showcased how great and awesome the X-Men are and how popular they are, and how, do we really need two Avengers? I mean...
No.
And the answer was an emphatic no, despite the fact that they'd been running Avengers West Coast for over 100 issues. In issue 100, they killed off Mockingbird. Oh no. That said, if you were an Avengers fan, that is actually tragic. It's Hawkeye's wife, and she was one of the few female members of the Avengers West Coast. And so she's gone, and then 2 issues later, they're like, and let's just kill the whole team. It's over.
No one really cared, so we might as well.
And it's actually great because in Avengers West Coast 102, after the fallout of the death of Mockingbird and the Blood Ties situation, Captain America and the Avengers go, I'm sorry. you know what? We already have an Avengers. Like,
Right.
we need to dissolve the team. We're gonna close your building, and we're just gonna reabsorb people we like into the Avengers. And everyone on the Avengers West Coast was like, hey!
Hey, we're our own independent, separate team. You
That
can't
is
just...
also directly affiliated with the Avengers and also eats into the same budget.
I'm just
Right.
saying, it's a big country. You can have an East Coast and a West Coast.
Yeah. I mean, arguably, it's not a bad idea to have bi-coastal Avengers or a 50-state initiative. Just to make sure that the Skrulls don't infiltrate it and ruin it for you.
Why should the West Coast Avengers be dissolved? Maybe the East Coast
No
Avengers
one
should be
says
the ones
that.
who are dissolved.
They're just mad.
Nobody
And
calls them the East Coast Avengers either.
Exactly.
Of
so
course, they're allowed to be East Coast Avengers to start with.
yeah, so there is this like vote where everyone votes for or against dissolving the West Coast Avengers.
Wait, like fans or
no,
the characters?
no, the characters themselves in Avengers 102. They've already decided.
Okay.
Avengers
the West Coast Avengers get to vote on
They
whether
do
they're...
indeed. And some
I'm
of them are like
guessing they all
screwing them
vote-
out. No, yeah, some of them are just like, yeah, we're all pretty
Like,
much.
I never really wanted to do this anyway.
Well, one of them was like mad because they didn't want to have to deal with, being forced to be on the team with them. They arranged the plot so that it's a tie vote. And then Iron Man shows up, and he was more or less in charge of the Avengers West Coast, and he was like late to the meeting. These characters, for the most part, they're West Coast Avengers, and they are manipulated by Iron Man into joining his rad new X-Men team. And then he goes and dies on them. And also murders their publicist. And he doesn't even have the wherewithal or professional courtesy to tell them it's over. They just go, oh, I guess it's over. And also, what's frustrating
Show up for
about
work and the
them-
doors are locked.
Yeah, well, he owned it. He doesn't even know it exists. What's funny is young teen Tony doesn't even know about the works.
Wait, does
Right.
the Works still exist then somewhere in the Marvel
The
universe?
works still exist. Well,
It was never destroyed.
I hate to tell you this, but
It's just filled with rats.
I mean, yeah, cyber rats. There are also, in 2020, they also attempted to reboot ForceWorks, and they brought back a
Why?
mini-series of ForceWorks, and there are way fewer issues of the new ForceWorks than there were of the real ForceWorks. I also love this collection because it's called Avengers, Iron Man, and then ForceWorks at the bottom. It's like, look, I am not going to sell this if I put ForceWorks on the cover.
Right.
No one knows what that is.
No one knows what that means.
And those who
Well, I
do
can't sell
don't
it like
want
that because the cover doesn't pop.
Yeah, we sold it on the gimmick cover, not on the concept being called ForceWorks.
Yeah, because that name is horrible.
I mean, in the 90s, they were like, this is the best name we could ever have come up with.
I mean, we wanted to go with Bloodworks, but
There's no
Then it just
way
sounded like they were
that
going
blood
to the
wasn't
lab.
in the meeting. There was no way that someone didn't go, I know we're all married to ForceWorks, but can I just throw something out there for a second? Bloodworks. And they're like, oh, we already had t-shirts made.
But that is really good.
And when I
I'm
say
gonna
that,
write
I
it
mean in the comic, on their first official day of being ForceWorks and having stayed in the works, characters are wearing t-shirts with ForceWorks' logo on them. And I'm like, okay, like, that's too real.
Because they're really good at marketing.
Yeah.
Or
well,
they
have,
want to be.
They have a marketing team
Yeah.
that works for ForceWorks.
That reminds me of friggin' Superboy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like it seems like that was like a thing in
Well, you know
comics.
what it
We're
should
like,
really
we're gonna
remind
get
you of?
meta.
Yes.
It should remind you of Wildstorm and the 90s and Image because every team invented from 1993 onward is a paramilitary group,
Right.
as is ForceWorks, kind of.
Yeah.
Except they're actually the least because they have no affiliation with the US government. So they can just roll in and take shit over. There is an entire long-standing arc, it almost arguably never ends, where they invade a country embroiled in a civil war and it never ends. Who are you again? I'm US agent. It's like, oh, I
Right.
guess then you're an acting member of the government? Nope, I am a member of ForceWorks.
Think of me as like a
Then how are you a
metaphor
U.S. agent?
for the U.S.
Yeah.
government's
Well, that's my
involvement
name.
in
That's
other
just my
countries.
code name. I don't actually represent America. I'm
Yeah.
just
you?
named after.
I'm just confusingly named.
Right. Well, kinda. I dressed a lot more like Captain America when I was on Avengers West Coast. And then, after I was unceremoniously kicked off of it and / quit, I took my not Captain America costume and my not Captain America shield, I stuffed it into the shield and I threw it in the river. And that's why I need a cool new costume that looks anything but.
Very mature.
So we haven't even started this.
That's Jack Daniels for you.
And I really hate it.
Well,
I kind of dig it.
the point
I
is,
kinda like
I want
how
you guys to just leaf through it
ludicrous
because
it is.
this is what Force Works is. Force Works is just a weird book that Marvel insisted on. Iron Man manipulates his former West Coast Avengers teammates into quitting and then tells them all to meet him at his place in California, Ventura, California, I believe, where they are going to be introduced to the Works, which is their base of operations. It's a smart house.
Right.
That
He's
is
been
run-
planning this for some time.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Clearly he's been working on this for a while.
The building is called The Works?
Yes.
Yes.
And all of
Does
Tony's...
it come with the works?
I mean, absolutely. There's a pool, and there's a special not danger room, which they call the vroom room.
There's chili, lettuce,
room
tomato,
yeah,
French fries on the side.
the
Okay,
wakes.
hold on. I'm sorry, can you refresh my memory?
1994.
Thank you. So, yes, this is the time frame where they're like, if it's cool, it's got to have a pool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and a trampoline.
And I'm sorry, and can we
Yeah,
go
like
back to
rich people have.
the room room?
The vroom
Vroom room.
The vroom room?
Yeah, you know, like a
goes like
motorcycle
vroom.
makes, or a cool car.
Vroom vroom.
I
yeah.
don't want to be here anymore.
I assume it stands for something.
Everything
it's like
does.
the virtual
Yeah,
room.
room.
But then why is it called the Vroom Room? It's just the Vroom.
it should just be called vroom, but no one know what you're talking about. They'll think you're making motorcycle sounds.
It's like ATM, you know?
Yeah,
There's no
it's an
ATM
ATM
machine.
machine.
Machine's in the thing.
redundant. The works are actually kind of governed by an artificial intelligent being named Plato, and he is a complement to Tony's virtual assistant, Homer. And they each have...
What?
And both those names are acronyms. And they all stand for things, and they're pretty good. Like, I looked up
Oh, yeah?
what Plato stands for, and it fits. And I'm like, well, that's because Plato was invented by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, and they like put thought into it. And it's so frustrating every time that the book opens and you read it, because the writing within is pretty good. You know, especially the omniscient narration. Anything that's describing what's happening, like the writing is better than the art in describing what's actually occurring on the page, but it's mired in what it is, you know? But don't forget, you're making Force Works.
Right.
But you're not, though.
It's gonna be silly.
Because it's not working.
Well,
Well, we've got to get it working.
All right, find the vroom room.
Yeah, I'm still. So I found Play-Doh.
Yeah, we saw Play-Doh. I asked you.
Yeah, the acronym.
The audience is gonna want to know. It's piezoelectrical logistic analytic tactical operator.
I thought it was
Not bad.
pretty
Or
lame
Play-Doh.
alphabetic theming
organism.
organism.
There you go.
Orchestra.
There's so much technical mumbo jumbo in the first like 5 pages of the
mean,
book.
it's
because
Iron Man,
It's
that makes
It's
sense.
Iron Man. It's a smart house.
Is
It's
there-
choked with
Yeah,
things.
it is a
They
smart
have
house.
they have a chaos computer.
What?
It's just Jeff
know-
Goldblum in a computer.
Yeah, I saw Jurassic Park. That's chaos
What is
computer.
happening? Okay, there was an Iron Man plushie. Why is she doing that? What is happening?
Because she's hot.
So, the chaos computer, by the way, is how they're going to be proactive. The whole
It's gonna predict when there's gonna be crimes and
Do they
shit.
know that Wanda has chaos magic at this point?
Okay, she doesn't, because she has a hex magic. They haven't invented chaos magic yet. Iron Man elects Wanda to be the leader of Force Works.
Oh.
Do we
and
know
then-
that that's a mistake yet?
No.
No.
Okay.
Although she does fight the Avengers West Coast in a previous story arc, and Bendis will use that as justification for why she like loses it over her kids. But don't worry about that right now. What matters is Wanda is underutilized according to Iron Man, and she is owed her due. And her due is to lead Force Works, and he's gonna fight with her over leadership until the book is canceled and he dies. But he won't just try and take it away from her. He's just going to undermine her at every instance of leadership. He will want...
No, not like that.
He'll want her to lead the team. And she will be like, why bother when you keep calling the shots? And then he'll get mad at her
That's 'cause you
for
keep
not
leading
leading
wrong.
the team. And I'm like, that's too real. And it's frustrating.
That's very real.
Because it makes her look incompetent because it's from 1994, but actually Iron Man is setting her up for failure from the beginning. So that's really prescient and cool. Too bad it's lost on everyone who's reading it.
So he's like mansplaining leading to her.
Yeah, I mean, no, because he doesn't even bother to explain it. He just does it. And she's like, I guess we'll just do that then. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, but when it goes wrong, I want to blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I had to step up because you wouldn't do it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go die.
Please do.
Or I have to ditch the book to deal with War Machine, who is also having his own weird existential crisis. Or the Mandarin is back, and I've got to rope all of ForceWorks into a story arc called The Hands of the Mandarin, which will also weirdly and coincidentally be roped into the Iron Man animated series from the Marvel Action Hour, which is coming out around the exact same time. Like, this book is so connected to its complement on the TV.
Wait a minute. Did you just make ForceWorks so that you could have help dealing with Iron Man shit?
I mean, because ForceWorks, essentially after like issue 7, becomes an Iron Man book. Like, their characters who
okay,
show
this
up,
is not working. We just got to turn it into Iron Man.
I don't
People
know,
like Iron
because
Man.
Abnett and Lanning never leave the book. They never stray. Hell, they even have a one-shot book dedicated specifically to one character invented for ForceWorks that we haven't even gotten to yet.
So Tony forces his way into ForceWorks.
I mean, he invents ForceWorks.
Yeah.
And then
He
tells
is
them to lead
ForceWorks.
it, and then shoehorns himself in every time.
Yeah.
What is this even about?
Oh, what's ForceWorks about? It's about Iron Man creating a paramilitary group to invade sovereign nations without having to deal with Captain America complaining at him. Here's what ForceWorks was, here's who's on ForceWorks, and here are the directions that ForceWorks went in, and if there were any good or at least standout moments from it, and if you want, you can feel free to call out moments and I'll point out characters, but everything is kind of laid out as to what ForceWorks is in the first issue, where it's just like, here's a bunch of characters from Avengers West Coast, and we're banking on the idea that if you're reading Avengers West Coast, you're gonna read ForceWorks because you loved those characters, and we
So we're just continuing.
We're just continuing. We barely add anyone else. The only characters we add
like a rebrand.
to the team, it's a complete reshelling of Avengers West Coast because we only add one character, and that character is invented for ForceWorks.
Who's that?
That's Century, not Century. Century, like 100 years.
Oh. Which one's he?
He's the one who looks like a corpse with facial paint.
Ah, I wondered. I was like,
We'll
is he
talk
like
about
a
him later.
warrior or some shit? Or
Hey,
no?
on that map of, I'm assuming California,
Yeah.
is that line delineating where the West Coast Avengers and ForceWorks take over? Is it just the line to the left, and then everything to the right of it is the regular
is
Avengers
Avengers.
stuff?
No,
Yeah.
that's just letting you know where the target is.
That's very
So you
true.
can- you're this far away from it, so whenever you want to do a target run,
Yeah.
just let us know.
I love it too because in Avengers West Coast 102, Iron Man splits the tie by saying they should disband Avengers West Coast, then quits the Avengers. Then everyone from Avengers West Coast quits as well. And then they all leave. And Iron Man's like, meet me at my special clubhouse a couple of weeks from now or whatever. And then Wonder Man returns from parts unknown and goes, hey, I've been away for a while, but I'm ready to rejoin Avengers West Coast. And they're like, hey, that's over. And then he carries over to ForceWorks, where it's like, thank God I have someone who can do anything and isn't U.S. agent on ForceWorks because I really, really needed you. And this team.
What about
is-
Wanda? She's got powers.
yes, she has powers, and she's leading the team.
Spider-Woman has
But
spider powers, right?
Spider-Woman is a complicated mess,
Oh.
but is also a fun character that is woefully underutilized after ForceWorks.
Doesn't she have a kid? How can
She
she
does.
be here?
What do you mean? She's a
very
working mother who
irresponsible.
can do whatever she wants. Like she.
Yeah, I'm sure Plato has, like,
But is the kid
nanny
there?
protocol
Yeah,
or
Rachel's
something.
there. She lives in the works with her mom
Oh, so we got the
and
we
her
got
nanny.
family
They have a
drama.
nanny that lives at ForceWorks and takes care of Rachel when Julia needs to Spider-Woman up for ForceWorks.
Is it Homer?
No.
So does
no.
that mean the nanny knows all of the the identities of these heroes?
It's interesting because they work around secret identities because Iron Man's is still in the closet and he walks around with his helmet off a lot, but also in mixed company will force his suit to walk around like at the Christmas party issue. He has like a mixed company party. And so Tony's there and Iron Man's over there like hobnobbing. And so Plato or whatever is manipulating the suit there
Okay.
just to keep up appearances.
Right.
So, yeah, Rachel is Julia Carpenter or Julia Cornwall's daughter. She's been a part of Avengers West Coast since Julia joined it. And Julia's like, look, I'm a superhero. I do this stuff. I have a daughter, but like, I'm not gonna keep her out of it. I'm not going to put her in a costume, make her fight with me. She stays back at the base. Stark is ready to launch Force Works when a contingent of Kree soldiers is set up to destroy Earth.
Oh, and their Silver Samurai ship?
Yes.
Because that's literally all I can think about when I look at it.
Look at how good they thought this was going to be art-wise. Because, like, they put someone's reflection in the armor.
Yeah.
They're like, this is going to blow people's minds. We're going above and
I really
beyond.
pay attention to details.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. Don't ask me to draw a mouth open.
No. Tom Tenney is
You're
definitely...
not going to have all of those,
he's-
are you?
I mean, at the very
You're
least...
going to be talking a lot or yelling.
Oh, everyone yells in this book and in every book made by Marvel at this time.
Hey, am I just going to draw some characters who look like their head is a giant thumb where it just goes right into the neck?
That's going to be fantastic for you, man. Everyone does that, except for the women.
Sweet.
And do I need to have any sort of continuity to the shape of Iron Man's helmet or its like size?
I mean, you should, because we definitely debuted his new suit, and it needs to be identical to the one that debuts in the new season of Iron Man, the cartoon show. So, yes.
Okay, but can I also draw the women in this book with varying sized breasts depending on how I'm feeling?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we all do that.
Okay, great. Let's go.
I don't have to cover them up with any clothing, do I?
I mean, yes,
just
you
a little
do
bit.
need to do that, but just a little bit, yeah.
Like the minimal amount?
Yeah, just the stuff. Don't show the bits.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you. So, the Kree are coming. They also seem to be in possession of a Rigelian recorder, which is this android guy right here who looks indistinguishable from everybody else.
When you drop that, like you're like, and obviously you know what that
you know,
is.
Rigelians make recorders. Recorders are sentient robots that also record things.
Who are the Rigelians?
The Rigelians are an alien
covered
race
them
that make
before.
recorders, okay? So
They're really good at it, and they
What's the
play on
point
the
of them?
recorders.
the point is that they record what happens in the galaxy.
You can play hot cross
They're
buns.
kind of like Watcher.
No, not those awful recorders. Like a tape recorder or a camcorder.
Yeah, that
like-
that came up in a book, didn't it?
Yeah, the
'Cause I
recorders
remember
come up.
bitching about the recorder.
Think about this for a second. That's what their entire like economy is based on.
No, that's just something that's their contribution to the galaxy.
It's
is that
like,
they
it's like a
record
hobby.
events. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a vocation.
Yeah, they're like amateur watchers, only they're doing it for their own posterity.
Yeah.
So
So the Watchers hate them.
Everyone hates
Presumably
these
they
guys, I would
should.
think. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
It's-
Like,
it-
stop filming me.
I'll have you know that on this date you said this. I have it on my Rigelian recorder.
yeah, I know, man. He's right here. He won't leave me alone.
He's
But
like a person.
yeah.
He takes up space.
Yeah.
It's like
You
that
won't even
episode-
notice me.
It's like that episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. What about this?
It's like you can't wear a wire with the Rigelians.
No.
Like, are you a cop? Are you recording me?
Are you a recorder?
Who's that?
There's no point in wearing a
Right,
wire.
no
We're always
one.
recording.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not staring at you. Anyway, the recorder becomes a member of ForceWorks, kind of. Don't worry about him right now. The point is, the Kree are in possession of this recorder, and so he's up to no good, and you should not trust him.
The recorder.
The recorder.
Well, I wouldn't.
Recorders are normally pretty
'Cause he's an
benevolent.
android?
They're,
Well, no, because he's recording.
Oh, okay.
yeah, because
he's
he's
like
always
a-
recording.
That's like a
recording.
paparazzi.
Do you not trust the camera?
No.
If it were alive,
Yeah, if it were a sentient being, I
yeah.
absolutely
If I
would.
needed to
If it
give him
came home with
quarters,
me, absolutely not.
Wait, why do you have to record everything?
Right? Well, don't worry about it. It's for the Rigelians anyway.
I see.
Who?
You trying to like catch me and
No, we're recording everything.
They just have very specific kinks.
they record everything.
Well, and that's the thing is that this Rigelian recorder
It's
does
just-
have a kink.
I can only get off if you're just living your life.
Yeah.
So I need you to act like I'm not here, okay? I just
Please.
need you to do
I
that.
need mundane things on film.
Yes.
The second you just start like living your life, you just hear like, oh, in the background.
Okay.
Damn it! All right, that's the end of that. Let me get my crowbar.
I gotta do something weird. Get you to stop.
Yeah. So the recorder's also involved. The point is, what happens with him is ultimately he ends up being like, I'm here too, and like, I have this thing about seeing heroism in action, and I feel like you guys are the new hotness, so I need to keep an eye on you guys and learn for myself about what heroism truly is. Is it cool if I just live with you?
ForceWorks.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
ForceWorks like, yeah, you can stay here. And then he starts
Okay.
Oh, poor decision,
Yeah,
man.
so he
I
starts
mean-
dicking around with the chaos computer and like turning off crises before they actually become a full-blown catastrophe. So
How?
that when the chaos computer, first of all, the chaos
It
computer
can like intervene with events.
no. He
No, I think he's
intervenes
turning
with
off
the
the
machine.
alarm.
He turns off the alarm. He's
turns-
snoozing the chaos computer's alarm.
He makes it seem like everything's fine.
Yes.
Oh God.
Like, we're doing a great job.
Yeah.
The chaos computer hasn't said there's a problem for like weeks.
Yes. And
Oh
then,
my god, there's like a level 7 problem over there.
right, and it's just every problem we're solving are huge catastrophes. And it's because the recorder keeps muting the alarm. Because he wants to presumably see them in even more heroistic actions. But it turns out actually he was just completely reprogrammed by the Kree to betray them. So he's just a big bunch of bullshit. So Century ends up actually knocking his head off and sending his ass, well, really his head, to the Vault, which is, of course, the Supermax prison in the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
They also send the Kree war criminals who attack Earth in the first issue of Forceworks to the Vault. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because Abnett and Lanning are just good at what they do. But I felt like that was a real complicated intergalactic issue. Like, these guys are Kree soldiers. I understand they invaded our Earth and they attacked us with malice. But you sent them to jail. Like, shouldn't they go to, like, Kree jail? Like, shouldn't we have, like, an incident here? And it's
Well,
just
no,
like,
the Krees are just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, we'll totally put them in jail.
yeah.
Well, we
It's
don't
just-
have an extradition treaty.
We
with
have
the
no
Kree.
extradition treaty with the Kree. And
Nor should we.
that's a problem,
mean,
though,
just the-
because the Kree are going to keep invading. We're going to keep throwing him in the prison. What about the Rhino when he needs
But
to go to
Earth
jail?
doesn't-
It's going to be full up with Kree.
Earth doesn't have a government, so who's going to have a treaty with the Kree? Like, who are they supposed to talk to?
Earth has a government, and it's called the U.S. government.
So here's the
Basically
thing.
like being the leader of the Earth. Well, you didn't hear it from me.
Eventually, you're going to have so many Kree in the vault, you're just going to open the floor and dump them into the ocean and kill them.
Is U.S. Agent a big piece of crap?
I mean, he's annoying. He's the Guy Gardner
Okay,
of the
because obviously
of the Forceworks equivalent of Justice League International.
we've got this panel where it looks like he's like going to be like, I'm going to kiss you.
Yeah, he gets really in Wanda's face.
And then-
He just has a real
And
problem
then we
with
have
personal
this
liberty.
panel.
Yeah, where Julie is kind of hanging all over him.
No,
yeah.
No, he's
his
just-
hand is on her ass.
Oh yeah, Jack Daniels or John Walker. He was outed as being John Walker, so they came up with a pseudonym for him, and his name was Jack Daniels. I'm like, oh, super terrific name.
Well, he's got to stay away from Tony
Yeah,
because he's an alcoholic.
exactly. Yeah.
I keep trying to drink him.
That's why he left. It's like I can't be around you.
Yeah. But yeah, Jack's a jackass.
Cool.
Guy has more.
I don't understand why I would care about. There's nothing redeeming about this team right now.
Right.
yeah,
like,
who are we
I-
supposed to root for?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. Did you read Avengers West Coast?
No.
Oh, well then this is probably not for you. Even though we are marketing it for everybody.
Oh.
but if I read Avengers West Coast, why would I want to read Forceworks?
Because-
like I already
'Cause
liked
Iron
Avengers
Man's in
West
it.
Coast.
Well,
Because the entire West Coast team is on this.
I know, but why wouldn't you just leave the thing I like alone? Like this implies you're trying to get new readers.
Well, yeah.
Because we
But there's
kept
nothing
calling
here
it
for
West
new
Coast
readers.
Avengers.
Yeah. Well, for two reasons. One, the Avengers West Coast book was slipping in sales.
It's like we gotta do something.
We got to do something, and you love these characters, so you want to see where they're going. And two, Forceworks. When we released that big event, Blood Ties, it was called X-Men Avengers. And we could see clearly what side our bread was buttered on. And it was not the Avengers side.
Right. So,
So
we
we
gotta
gotta
get the
X-
Avengers out of
We
here.
got to X-Men
Old
the
and
Avengers.
busted.
How are we going to X-Men the Avengers?
Right.
Forceworks. Anyway,
this
so
is like.
the
Please
Kree...
explain to me what's happening.
So the
in
Kree
this.
are mad at Earth, and particularly the
For
Avengers
existing?
and the Avengers West Coast because of Operation Galactic Storm, which is a book we never talked about and we're not going to. But they're mad because Hala was essentially rendered uninhabitable, and they blame Wonder Man and Vision, who they know are Avengers. They are going to invade and blow up the Earth, and they're going to send the Recorder as a kind of double agent. He's going to pretend to be altruistic or at the very least neutral, and then he's going to betray them almost immediately.
I'm just a neutral observer. I just record.
Yeah, I just record, and I'm interested in heroism, and I'm massaging your ego by saying that you are the exemplary version of that.
Oh, I
Did you
mean,
turn
I mean,
off
I
our
am.
alarms?
So okay.
No,
Okay, because we recorded you.
how dare you?
Yeah, we also have.
What a
cameras.
violation!
Yeah. So the Kree are going to invade. Iron Man is showing off his awesome new digs. By the way, it's another reason why his base is called the Works. It's basically like his black site. Like there's nothing known about this place, but he's had it for a long time. And every time that he'd be working on something, and people said, "What about that thing you said you're working on like a few years ago?" He'd say, "Oh, that's in the works." Well, I literally meant that it's in a place called the Works, so I was never actually lying when I said that. And
Well, that's
so,
important to you, huh?
Right. Like, what? I'm all about technicalities. So he's
So, like-
showing off the
I can
base
tell.
to
I
this
hate
team.
Iron Man.
I mean,
apparently.
If
I
he's
guess
all
you're
about technicalities, why'd he
supposed
call it the throne room? It's stupid!
right? It's redundant. So Iron Man's showing off that, like, he presumed that everyone on Avengers West Coast would also join Forceworks, like setting up a quarters for Julia and her daughter and their nanny. That's why there's an Iron Man doll, by the way, is for,
The
It's
name.
like dolls.
for the nanny, because she's big into dolls. But They all say yes. They all get their quarters. We never really get to see them really like hanging out, but presumably it would be a dope lair to chill in because they have a pool and stuff. Wanda is interested in proving herself as a leader, so she's totally down. And Wonder Man's just excited to be on an Avengers team until he gets the memo that it's not going to be in any way affiliated with the Avengers. But then the Kree attack, and we meet a couple of specific soldiers who have ridiculous names. And
Are they more ridiculous than Vroom Room?
I'd say so. I'd say they're on par. So they attack, and they're like, oh, because some Avengers showed up, like Black Widow and Vision, so the Kree attack the Avengers West Coast compound, because like that's where the Avengers live, presumably. But it's been abandoned / stripped for parts by the Avengers. They send a couple of Avengers, that is to say Cap does, like Black Widow and Vision, to help empty it out, because there's crucial, important shit in there, and I don't want it just like being looted. So while the ForceWorks team is there to pick up some more crap, they bump into some Avengers, it causes a little bit of friction, and then the Kree attack. And they're like, oh great, Wonder Man and Vision, we want to kill both of you. What's fun about that is Wonder Man and Wanda are kind of starting a thing, and that's weird because Wonder Man's brain patterns are the template for Vision. So Wanda had been married to Vision and then essentially dumped him for the genuine article. So that's going to work out, except it isn't because, they're going to blow up the Earth. And they're going to use
The whole Earth?
the whole Earth.
Wow.
That's
Because Wonder Man and Vision are there?
because Wonder Man and Vision made Hala, their homeworld, uninhabitable. So it's like, what's
so
good
I'll
for the
make
goose is good for the
your-
gander.
well, yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, but
So,
you're gonna blow up with everybody on it.
yeah, well, my people can't live on our homeworld anymore, and
So
that's
I would
almost
might as well
like
not
being all
live here
killed.
too.
yeah, and we're better than you anyway. So ForceWorks springs into action, and Wonder Man swoops up into the mothership to try and turn off the weapon that will blow up the Earth, and then Wanda uses her hex powers to help stop the Kree soldiers from attacking them, and inadvertently summons Century, the newest member of ForceWorks, who is awesome looking.
Is he?
I've seen a lot of chatter online and in interviews and in letters pages within the pages of ForceWorks, which I have to assume are plants, which talk about how dope and awesome Century is. And I'm like, look, you're a kid in the 90s, you're just accustomed to this stuff, like you're just waiting for the next image-looking character to show up and for you to salivate over them. So
Is that him?
this is he. This is Century.
Okay, he looks like a weird Judge Dredd ripoff.
Well, that would make sense because Abnett and Lanning came from 2000 AD, the home of Judge Dredd. And they are English writers who are inspired by that pulp magazine.
Is that also why whenever they open their mouths in a scream, it looks like they have like weird gum or spider webs inside?
No, that's just the artist's aesthetic choice. So,
There's
It's a
also
choice.
There's also a tiny spotlight in his mouth.
yeah, I don't know. That's
his
just
tongue.
It's just bad coloring.
Don't you,
Yeah,
don't
that's
you
his tongue.
just like ever put like a little glow stick just on your tongue?
No!
Nobody does that.
Don't do that.
That's not a thing.
Like the tiny ones. I'm not like saying crack it open.
Right.
I'm saying the little mini ones. You
This
just,
costume-
pop and you toss it in there, and then you talk to people and your mouth's glowing.
I can't say I've ever done it.
And then the molly kicks
You
in.
missed out.
Say, it sounds like you've done it a little bit more than I have.
This
Then you feel in the groove.
Then you're just really into it. What was your question?
That's not a question. This Century costume is friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
like he's got
Wait,
shoulder
wait,
pads.
Whoa. When
He's
you say
got.
awesome, do you mean like awesome?
Like
fun,
awesome.
cool?
It's awesome
Or you're like,
how
oh,
It's
inspired?
awesome to the max.
It's awesome because it's a famous ball of ideas.
Yes.
You got giant shoulder pads. You got skulls. You got chains. You got pouches. You got knee
cape.
pads. You got a cape. You got like tattoos. Like this guy has
Wait, don't forget
friggin'
about the
everything.
weird gloves where only some of his fingers are
Some of his
gloved.
fingers
fingerless
aren't
gloves.
gloved for no
Not all of
reason.
them.
And a mullet.
And he has a mullet.
And
It's
not
everything.
It's not just two skulls. He's got like skulls on his knees.
Yeah.
But then he's got like little skulls
There's
on the knees
smaller
too.
skulls on the side of his knees. His knee pad, his
I
skull
want
knee
you to
pads have
see
skulls.
skulls.
I
Yes.
got chest chains. I got crotch chains.
Right?
Yeah.
I want my costume to baffle your phone in the year 2025 so that when you take a picture of me, it doesn't know which face to focus on.
Like, he's got a bracelet too. Don't
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, Century is all the ideas.
And he's got two axes.
It's one axe that has two blades named parallax.
Oh, was this before or after?
Around the same time.
DC
Because
parallax.
it's two axes and they're parallel axes.
Yeah.
I hate everything.
And it can also open a hole in dimensions, and it can make portals and stuff.
I think that I think it is two axes. He makes it into one axe.
Yeah, no, I think it's one axe that can be broken into two
like-
axes,
it's like an
not unlike
IKEA
a double-bladed lightsaber.
Oh.
5 years early.
It comes in pieces. Why does he say energy weapons? I am beset, assaulted, injured.
The Sentry is like a walking thesaurus, and he doesn't know which word to choose to describe some of the things he's saying, so he offers 3 options.
Okay, to be fair, sometimes I feel like that in my head.
Well, hey,
So he just has ADHD.
Right, like
That's
I
like-
feel
That's-
tired, beleaguered, sick.
He just has no filter.
well, maybe.
He can't.
Well, hang on. Maybe that his costume makes more sense. He just couldn't pick one
Yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Arguably, he didn't pick anything because Sentry has
Yeah.
a crazy, complicated, very uninteresting backstory.
Oh, you just did it
How could
yourself.
those things are mutually exclusive? Complicated? That equals interesting.
No, it's not guaranteed. Anyway,
I thought
don't
that
know
was
what
a
you
big
mean.
green cowboy hat, but it's just the.
just the vision
It's
and his
vision
and his
falling
cape.
over. He's a weird angle. Sentry has no fewer than 7 faces.
Yeah.
all
His-
times.
At all times, he's got 7. I don't know where to look.
Anyway, Wonder Man dies. He
First already dies.
I'm sorry. What?
Wonder Man.
Well, we don't need him. We got Sentry now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wonder Man's dead, and that's what the cover depicts: is him
Right.
heroically dying,
So-
even though he doesn't die in that cover. That cover showing him fighting Kree, which he doesn't do. Instead, he goes to the Kree ship and he blows it up. He actually ends up like, okay, it's
What?
great. He needs to turn off the machine that's going to blow up the Earth from the ship. So then he does, and the recorder's there, and the recorder is recording him being awesome. So then, out of nowhere, a hole opens in space, firing a whole bunch of like plasma grenades or something at the ship, and he's like, uh-oh. So then he needs to move the ship, because if the plasma grenades hit the ship, they'll trigger the energy that's within the ship to blow up the Earth, and it'll still blow up the Earth. So then Wonder Man pushes the ship out of the way before it overloads, and then it explodes and kills Wonder Man. And the recorder records it.
Wonder Man, move the ship.
Yeah. What's also funny is that Bendis must have been told about this, because I don't believe he read it. But
No
he
way.
will do a volume 2, but when Bendis brings back the boring old Avengers after having run New Avengers, he will return Wonder Man and Sentry, and they will attack the Avengers. And I'm like, both of them? That's a ForceWorks reunion. And arguably, that's the next appearance of Sentry. Like, at the end of ForceWorks, no one uses Sentry until Bendis uses him as a lame supporting character in a weird book that came out in the 2010s. So Wonder Man dies, and some aliens land. Those pods that were going to blow up the ship, those aren't just plasma grenades or something. They're actually pods that contain another warring, invading alien race
oh my god.
called the Scatter. And the Sentry knows the Scatter.
Bad luck. That's real bad luck. What are the odds of that?
What are the odds of that? Pretty good. I
mean,
feel like
force
Wanda
works.
should use her hex powers to kind of change the probabilities of that. Be like, we need one crisis at a time. So,
Oh no, the scatter. Beware! Look out! Caution!
so Sentry knows the Scatter because he is designed to kill them, but also not really.
Oh.
It turns out that Sentry was manipulated into working with the Scatter, and wherever the Sentry goes, the Scatter follow to find worlds to destroy. So Sentry inadvertently, via Wanda's hex powers, brings Sentry to Earth, which alerts the Scatter and brings them to Earth. So
The scatter almost look like they are the Sentry. Like they're the
look
same
like
being.
Yeah, they look like zombies that have like cool, rad 90s cyborg augmentations, which is basically what Sentry is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Their
not,
faces are very similar.
They're not in any way affiliated. It's just how the artist is drawing it.
I want to point out that there's another accoutrement to
The Sentry's outfit?
which
Oh,
is
please.
4 earrings.
Yep, 4 earrings.
He has no fewer than 4 earrings
On
in
one
his-
ear.
on
And
one
his
ear.
left ear. Yep.
Yeah.
He has many earrings.
There's a lot of earrings happening.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest pirate.
He's very alternative.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a mask or anything like that, so
Nope.
he's gonna need.
I'm gonna need a
Something
lot
else.
Yeah.
of other
I
stuff.
need something else up there.
So the first issue of ForceWorks
Yeah.
is that in front of the Avengers, they kill Wonder Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they inadvertently cause 2 alien invasions for the price of 1. And Iron Man literally goes, how could it have gone so wrong so very quickly?
I mean,
and I feel like that needs to be on the masthead of ForceWorks.
I think it was right here. I think this is how it.
Yeah.
Before you even turn the page.
Yeah, like before you opened the comic itself.
Yep.
It
It's
went
like,
wrong.
it's a mess.
Especially
Yes.
this one in particular, which was not adhered correctly.
Which is wrong even before you open it.
See, it was Wonder Man also going like, why couldn't it have been U.S. Agent?
What's weird is Iron Man solicits and encourages U.S. Agent to join and defends him from other people because he's like, look, U.S. Agent may fundamentally disagree ideologically with members of this team, but that doesn't make his points less valid and doesn't make him less of a member of this team.
So Iron Man wants to keep Jack Daniels around.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a reminder, to keep up his vigilance. But
It's a challenge for me.
yeah.
Every day I work around him is a challenge, and it's
to
one day
stop from
more
drinking
victory.
him.
That's right. Every day that I hang around Jack Daniels and don't indulge, it
Don't
means,
indulge in both drinking and murdering him.
It means it's another victory for Iron Man. That means I can allow like another 10 invasions of Earth because it means I've still succeeded. So you can feel free to leaf through ForceWorks.
They literally save the world here, or at least Wonder Man does.
Oh yeah,
He saves
Wonder
the
Man
world
saves
from
the world
destruction.
from these rogue Kree.
So that's a massive victory for
It
ForceWorks.
is, but also then the Scatter come, and they're going to
Well,
blow up
that's
the Earth.
true.
And they have an even more diabolical method of blowing up the Earth.
Yeah, it's more like, why did we even bother saving the Earth?
Yeah.
We're just going to have the scatter do it.
His sacrifice meant nothing.
So here's how the Scatter kill Earths.
Okay.
Okay, the Scatter.
Lay it on me.
The Scatter. They roam.
Can't wait.
Sentry is sent kind of as his own sentry.
But he's their enemy.
Yes, but
He's
he has
designed
been.
to kill- so why would they follow him?
Well, because that's part of his insane backstory is that he was made to kill the Scatter, but then he is manipulated into working for the Scatter. So it's this cruel irony of the Sentry.
It's a bizarre tracker they have on him.
So
He
why
learned it from
doesn't he just
Spider-Man.
not- Does he know this?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't know this.
No.
His memory has been scrambled. He has amnesia, which is another addition of cool comics tropes that
God damn
belong
it.
within the character.
He did say it was complicated.
Okay.
So
If you look at the last issue,
it's
you'll
gonna,
get the.
it's gonna be just more. There's gonna be more layers, I'm sure, even than that.
Oh, he's
No,
like
it's pretty simple. I mean, yes, there
like
are
an
more.
onion
Well, yeah, like for example,
garbage.
the Sentry.
Also, my father started the scatter.
Well, for example, the Sentry isn't really a guy. He's 100 guys.
He's like three
What?
cats in a trench coat running around.
Yeah, he's 100 of the greatest warriors' spirits doppeled into one body.
Is that why
and
he's called a century? Because it's 100?
there's 100 of
and
them.
he lives for 100 years. And I was like, yeah, like a
get
smaller,
out of
narrow margin of human population. That's not exciting. Like,
You're going nowhere.
so yeah, the Sentry
We have
is
to do
100
this
people.
so much.
Yeah, it's
You
so
can sit
rare
through
you're
one
gonna hear.
episode like this.
This is terrible.
So the Sentry lives 100 years and he's 100 guys.
I'm like, wait, hang on.
Does each guy get a year?
You act like this isn't every day. Like I have to do this all the time. It has
that's
nothing to do
true,
with
yeah.
this
That's at
couch.
home.
Do
That's not
this?
on
How often does he
camera.
talk about ForceWorks?
I
though?
rarely, if ever, talk about ForceWorks recreationally.
How do they make sure he lives exactly 100 years?
No, they just say he can live 100 years.
Oh, like anyone?
Right. And they're like, and we don't know. Even in the articles about this book touting the Sentry as an awesome character, they're like, we don't know at what point in his 100-year journey he is. And I'm like, oh, so he could die at any minute? Is that why he looks so fucking old?
I mean, anyone could die at any minute.
Right. And also, anyone could live 100 years, possibly.
He should have a counter at the bottom of the page so you can tell.
I mean, isn't that just what he is? Don't they
just without
say-
being able to tell how close
'cause,
he
like-
is to the end.
Right? Because Spawn doesn't live 100 years. Spawn lives as long as his counter, and his counter keeps ticking. So, like,
Yeah.
yes, the Sentry is all the ideas in one character. He's 100 ideas
Right.
in one character.
He's that too.
So wait, how do they get rid of the scatter?
So here's how they do it.
Hang on. In the same issue, I noticed too that the Kree, the ones that are there, are known as the Shattered.
Yes.
So you've got the Shattered and the Scattered.
And the scatter.
Yes, that's right. which is just, you know,
And after we crush them, they'll be the splattered.
it's the delicious puns and fun of Abnett and Lanning. Those are smart guys. That's smart writing.
And if we scare
That
them
is
enough, they
smart
might make
writing.
us shattered.
Are these brains? Can you see
Not
their
shattered.
brains through like clear plates? In their
Sure.
head? Okay, that's cool.
If you serve them on a plate, they'll be.
The plattered.
Did you started to explain how the scatter destroy worlds?
Yes.
Did you finish
No.
that? What is their
Why
plan?
do you want to know these things?
Because it's important. It's essential to the plot.
to know.
What plot?
So the Scattered, they destroy Earths. And
Yeah.
the Century brings them to them. Not unlike how the Silver Surfer
Like
brings
Galactus,
Galactus.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
very
They don't
similar.
make that analogy, by the way, because that's like old and busted. Who wants to refer to a lame character like the Galactus?
Right.
So the Scattered, they destroy an Earth, or rather,
planet.
they raise a planet with their masses, and then
Like bugs.
like bugs, and
locusts.
then they open a portal, and they destroy the planet that they destroyed, like
They
by
destroyed even
pieces,
more.
and they fire the shattered planet at the next planet.
What?
Okay.
Is that part of how they destroy that planet?
No, they wreck it by like raising all the living parts of it to the ground.
Like manually?
Yeah, and then they go to the next planet, and then they open a portal to that last planet, and then they fire the remnants of that planet into the new planet.
Why do they do that? What does
Wait.
that
Because
do for them?
because that's crazy and fun,
Right.
isn't it?
Does
Like,
it hurt that planet?
Hold
doesn't
on.
matter. It's just I'm firing the matter of one planet directly at another planet.
But wouldn't they wait?
But wouldn't they run out of planets if they did that?
no, I mean like wouldn't. But they want to get the resources first. Why would they do that?
They've already gotten the resources. They go to the planets.
Did they
the
get there
resources.
ahead of the pieces of the planet that they already fired?
No, they haven't fired them yet. They ruin the planet,
Right.
then they go to the
But,
next
like,
planet, and then they
obviously-
open a portal and fire that planet at the
Right,
next
but
planet.
you said that this is like intrinsic to the plot, which means that they're gonna at some point
No,
like try to.
it's important to the next issue, the plot of the next issue. Each
Only
issue,
one.
Each issue is a new adventure for ForceWorks.
Okay,
That's
but
crazy.
like okay, but that means that like that seemingly is indicating that they're gonna do that.
Right.
To
Well, they're
Earth.
gonna
Yeah,
try.
that's what they're gonna do.
But
They're
they
gonna open
haven't gotten the resources, so why would they do that?
Oh,
Well, they're about to.
because ForceWorks gives them a run for their money. They're like, oh crap, we're not gonna
typically
win.
it takes
so
a
instead
while,
of just
right?
getting them, I figure I'll just screw them over. But then
Yes.
well then they're idiots.
So there's like a countdown. It's like they're here.
Much
Yeah.
like Century.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna fuck up the Earth.
Yeah.
And when they're done, then the stuff will come, and we have to stop that, like the pieces of the
But
other
no, they're
planets.
gonna do it
they
right
just
now.
call it on a radio.
Yeah. No, they have to like activate a
It's like
portal.
almost here.
No, they're gonna do it right now. They're like, oh crap, we're not gonna be able to take the resources and kill everybody. So let's just fire the planet at them.
It's like a contingency. Like if we're about to be defeated.
Well, they always shoot a planet at the previous planet.
Right. But they can do it on command.
Yes.
Like they don't have to succeed in the first part.
No.
It's like, well, if I lose, I'm still going to destroy your planet
Yes.
with the pieces of the other planet.
And the great thing is that whatever planet they end up on gets destroyed by the previous planet, so they can use that new planet
Yeah.
as pieces to destroy the next planet.
Exactly. They never run out of ammo.
But how did they destroy the first planet?
Right. That one is a mystery, unfortunately.
I just assume it's like, well, that was our home planet. We just used that
Okay.
to destroy
that's
the next
effed
one.
up.
Yeah, there we go.
Is it possible that this guy's not as old as all that because John Walker is also drawn in a similar fashion, and it's just we don't know how to do this?
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
That's very
I
possible.
presume that Century looks old, but you're right in as much as the art in the very beginning of this story does depict everyone with creases and lines all over their faces, except for the women.
I was just going to say.
Well,
except for
I
the
mean,
women,
like,
yeah.
did you see that? Like,
Yeah.
where they're like, hang on, make sure
Yeah.
it's all like, any minute this costume.
By the way,
could fall
Oh,
out.
yeah.
that is a
it's
new costume.
almost
That's
off.
why it's not working right because she's still getting a feel for it.
Oh, okay. That's
It's a new suit
That's
for
clearly
one.
what it is.
It is a new costume.
And this is happening. Is Iron Man like? I'm so glad I'm with such a great and amazing character like you, Sentry.
He's just like-
because obviously you're the breakout star of this book.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Like,
he
probably
does
glad
not.
to have a heavy hitter after Wonder Man's
That's
dead.
more or less what he's like. He's not like, wow, the Century is so cool, and I, by comparison, blow. But he will put the Century in the Iron Man cartoon show in the Marvel Action Hour. So that's how much
We've got to get the
longevity
century
this
working.
That is
character
how
has.
fundamental to the
Yeah.
Marvel universe the Century is, not the Century.
not the Century character in a movie that was over $160 million. So
What's going on with his leg chains? Are they little loops like a harness? Does he have to like put his leg through the whole time?
I don't think he ever takes the costume off because he's not really a guy.
Yeah, he's like, that's part of that's like my skin.
I'm desperate to know whether or
costume.
not they attach at the top in the back, so it's like a loop and a loop, or if it's just like going around and then flat in the
I
back
think
and
they
then
come
back
out
up.
of his belt. I think they start at the belt, go around the leg.
I think they hug his butt.
I mean,
You got to get that working for sure.
yeah. And it will, because he is in love with Wanda. Or at least he will over the span
And she's
of...
like, oh no.
She seems receptive, but Sentry doesn't realize that he's in love with her until he bails to learn more about his dark and complicated history, not unlike when Wolverine will bail on the X-Men and find out some new crucial piece of information about his history. I'm like,
I'm basically the Wolverine.
Except
of this
Wolverine's
book.
been around a while.
yeah, and he's
Wolverine
cool.
kinda, like, earned
He's
that.
objectively
I'm
cool, and you are no.
Did you see how many faces I have on my outfit?
You are comprised
I've
of
got
things.
pouches and chains and earrings and a cool weapon. Look at my cool weapon. It's one weapon. It becomes two weapons.
And
I s-
teleports.
And
It
I
teleports, and I can do. What do you want me to do? I can do it. I can probably do it.
Aha!
What do you need?
Whatever you need, I'll
They
be
loop,
cool.
they hug his
I can
butt.
be cool.
That'd be cool.
Scatter go back to the planet that they're going to fire at Earth, and they bring Wanda and Spider-Woman and U.S. Agent with them.
Okay.
And, they're halfway across the galaxy, and so Sentry uses Parallax to teleport he and Iron Man to the Scatter's previous world and, give battle to them and retrieve their team.
And those are the previous world's peoples.
Yes.
Who are the last? Because
Yeah, they
we
are
need
the
a-
last.
We need a name too.
Yes, and they don't matter because the Scatter, who look insane, are also not what the Scatter look like. The Scatter are actually bugs that inhabit the bodies of the people who used to live on each of the previous worlds.
That's why they
God
kind of look the
damn
same.
it.
And so when the trio who originally kidnapped U.S. Agent, Scarlet Witch, and Spider-Woman meet the
The
last, they are like, oh no, these poor people, but actually it's like a Trojan horse to get them because they are also the Scatter, but playing possum. And so they're all corpses, and this is
Is that
where
why they look desiccated and dead?
My God.
I mean,
Well, how
and
do
also
we
because that's
know?
what the art looks like. But yeah, so then you find out like, oh, the Scatter are just puppeted corpses by the true Scatter, which are bugs. Sentry explains this to Iron Man, so Iron Man helps free his teammates.
the
and
Sentry
then-
like, oh, now I remember what the Scatter are.
he gets bits and pieces,
Right.
conveniently enough, each issue.
Right.
Curse my wicked amnesia!
Except in Hands of the Mandarin, where when he is separated from Parallax, the awesome weapon he uses that also is a teleporter, fantastic secrets are revealed to him. And he realizes like he had a wife and kids and stuff, and those may be false memories as well, but it complicates him to the point where he needs to bail to discover his true identity, and that's when we reveal all the secrets of the century in his one-shot that is also written by Abnett and Lanning.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna deal with these guys, the Scatter, for like a while.
No, we're gonna wrap them up right now.
Oh.
On their
Well, how can
other
you
planet?
selectively
Yeah.
or gradually reveal stuff? I just over the course of this issue,
Uh-huh.
he's like, oh, I just remembered.
Well, no,
I just remembered.
he
Also, the Scatter are like this.
He only needs to tell them that they're bugs.
I see.
We figured out the rest from there.
Okay. Do we get to see their bug form?
We see like a moment where like goopy tendrils shoot out of the face of what we thought were the Scatter, and like that's, I don't know, tendrils of the bugs or something. It's just
there?
gross.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
not a terrible idea, but
no, it's a great idea.
There's too much.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's
In
the
this
problem.
book.
That's the problem
Like,
with this book
I
overall.
can't
Besides
catch
the
my
art,
breath.
it is just jam-packed. It's like, dude, it's not like this is your first rodeo. Like, you guys have already succeeded. You don't need to put all the ideas
Yeah.
into this one book that is essentially an X-Force ripoff.
No, I do!
Force works! Right? Force works!
Do
It's
you
not
like
gonna.
it?
It's not
Look at all
gonna.
this
if
cool
it's-
shit that's happening.
If it collapses under the weight of your sci-fi endeavors,
Yeah.
because every book practically has an alien invasion in it, and I'm like, you gotta stop with the aliens. And then they're like, all right, let's invade a small Eastern European country. And I'm like, okay, let's get back to the aliens then.
Oh,
now you want the
now you want the
aliens.
aliens. Okay. Yeah, because you presented two unappealing options.
Yeah.
So I'll take the better of the two, I guess.
Arguably, invading a country, though, is more in line with the concept of Force Works,
Yes.
which is preempting problems
Disasters
with a
before they happen.
preemptive strike.
So Century figures out that he was the tether that brought the scatter to Earth in the first place, and that he is the kind of like
Key to all of this.
Key to all of this. So he's like, oh, so since the scatter follow me,
I'll just go somewhere
I will
else.
teleport myself to the other end of the galaxy, into like a black hole or near one, and then they'll
Yeah, don't
fire
go in it.
themselves at that, and now they're
And then
over
I'll
there.
just like jump out of the way and they'll fly past me into the black hole.
And they do, and that's over. And I'm like, oh, that was,
that was
See,
easy.
I painted space to look like it wasn't a black hole.
yeah. And they just slammed right into it.
I put a giant painting of the
stars.
Earth
Yeah.
Oh, there it was.
in front of the black hole.
It's all flat, made of cardboard.
Yep.
And they try to stop and they go.
Yeah. And then,
like, yeah.
but it's too late.
It's too late, and they skid right.
Yeah, because I was putting oil slick in space.
Yes.
They spin out and go into the black hole.
So we find out about the chaos computer. The chaos computer, obviously, it probability tracks the Earth all the time and will spit out dangers before they happen, but also works in conjunction with Scarlet Witch's hex powers. So if she...
Right, because you can't do that with science. It's way too advanced.
You can do it up to a particular amount of probability. But with Scarlet Witch's newfound hex powers, those ramp up the statistics to the point of like the 90th percentile.
Right,
So
so
all
it's,
she
like,
needs to do
pretty
is like
accurate.
stand underneath it and then let it like interface with the computer with her powers, and it will make the computer do that.
Yeah,
and so,
it's like Cerebro. It's like
Yeah.
their way of like detecting
And it's like
stuff. When I go in this special
Cerebro.
place, then I can see where to go.
yeah, and it's like you guys missed an opportunity to give her a cool Cerebro-esque helmet,
Right?
just to hammer in this whole bullshit.
That'd be a little on the nose.
Yeah, no. Instead,
We're not hacks.
like, yeah, the chaos computer is depicted almost like comic book panels.
What?
Like you can
that
see,
mean?
like the computer screen is depicted like the number box in the top left corner of a cover, and it will show you like an image. It's weird and meta and fourth wall breaking.
It displays comic book panels to show you what's going to happen.
Yes,
You mean this?
yes. Look at her go. No, I mean like these screens here, how they like look like they're pages in a comic book.
Oh, yeah,
and they,
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I thought that was
It's
a
got like
poster.
titles and
yeah,
stuff.
no,
Okay.
they look like posters or comic book panels, but they are actually screens or
covers.
projections from the computer of what
I
they
see.
did or what they're going to do.
It's very high tech.
It's like creating a playlist. Why is Weird Cat Mummer in there?
Why is the anti-monitor on this cover? That's Ember. Ember is the
He's the protector of Slorania.
Ember.
Destroyer of
No,
Forceworks. It says it right
Not
here.
Slorania.
Yeah, yeah. The
Was
poor-
that the Middle Eastern country or whatever they invade?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Slorenia is involved in a civil war. There's the peasants, and then there's the government. And Ember is a spirit that is like the physical representation of the true fighting spirit of the Slorenian people. And
Oh no.
Ember helps with the, disaffected populace by fighting against the government. Forceworks knows that a big crisis will occur in/because of Slorenia, so they go there. They end up dealing with Ember, who speaks in an insane moon language that I presume is some bastardization of Polish and Russian. What matters is, with the Slorenian thing, Forceworks invades Slorenia.
In workout gear.
No, that's
No,
when they're in
that's
the
just
room.
before that.
This is. Hang on.
Century is watching Beavis and Butthead in this comic.
Yay.
Marvel
Sweet, that's
is
awesome.
publishing a Beavis and Butthead comic book at this
There you
exact
go.
same time.
There you go.
The plot reason why Century is watching it is because Century is interested in Earth cultures and is looking to learn everything he can and becomes addicted to television.
Oh, I thought he needed teepee for his bunghole.
He develops a personality by watching all of American television.
I'm so
Oh, he's
sorry.
insufferable.
Great.
Yeah. Well, he's not like a butt monkey. He's surprisingly restrained for this premise. So since
He's like Johnny Five.
yes, he's more like Johnny Five, only less endearing because he's so gross looking.
He is insufferable.
I like Johnny Five. So they hop in the hex ship and they go to Slorenia and
Can I just predict
yeah,
the end of the whole thing?
yeah. Go ahead.
The chaos computer is only showing the future in as much as it is causing them to go to places and cause these problems that then they see it telling them about.
I deeply wish that the chaos computer was like a contradiction in terms. I think the concept is like you're the problem. Like ForceWorks is the problem.
Yeah, like it knows that you're gonna go there and fuck shit up. That's why it's showing you that.
Right. No, it is not that.
That's too
It's
bad.
like if the chaos computer weren't being mucked with by the recorder, it would be working great.
It would work perfectly, and there would be no problem at all with doing that.
I mean, we'd still have to fight Ember and stuff, who, by the way, despite him looking like everything, is not the bad guy.
Really?
He's spewing like blood.
No,
out
because
of his
he's
mouth.
the spirit of his people.
And he's angry because his people are being tormented by their government. It turns out there's just a regular guy, and he found like a totem that connects with the spirit, and so he's able to, become it.
That
And
doesn't
then,
explain why he looks like trash, though.
No. It's not like it would be great if, and I wouldn't put it past Abnett and Lanning for doing this, but it's not in the book, is that it draws from, like current culture, like how Gozer picks the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah,
Like, what do these people fear? They fear roided out image characters. Then I shall become one.
Yes.
Or
Okay.
it's like even more meta than that, like, because he really looks like if you redesigned the anti-monitor
Yeah.
from Crisis for the 90s.
Yeah.
To
So it's
also
like
be a Thunder Kid.
there is a
Yeah.
so it's like, oh, this is a crisis, so I will become the thing that causes it. Unfortunately, I'm in Marvel, so I also have to look like I have blood in my name.
Right.
Well, I have it in my mouth, so I might as
So-
well have it in my name.
Yeah.
He's a Red Lantern.
Yeah.
ForceWorks is just a series of like misadventures.
Yes. Not unlike, I think it's Complement, which is sacrilege to say, but I think that the inspiration for this book, underneath all the layers of inspiration from like editorial mandate, is Justice League International.
Damn it, that looks cool.
Yeah,
No, it
it does
doesn't,
feel
Ben.
like that. This?
Yeah, I want you to take it in before I give it to him.
What, you don't like the Black Brigade? And its leader, the Black Brigade?
He names it after
Damn it,
himself.
no, I do like that. I'm
mean,
sorry.
They look like Wetworks. They look like Cyberforce. They look like
Yeah,
everything from that time.
yeah.
The Black Brigade are the least insane looking groups of people. And we also meet the Kree, who for no reason look totally bonkers. Like, I know what the Kree look like, and they look nothing like they appear in this
Yeah,
book.
that was old and busted Kree.
Yes.
This is new hotness
This is
Kree.
new 90s Kree, and they have to be basically violators. Like, they gotta look like they're from the 90s.
How else will you know what year it was when this was written?
That's exactly right. I mean, and
You're
you can
gonna
tell.
want to remember.
How
I
else
mean,
would you
and
be able to
what's
immediately
so great
date
is,
this book
like,
by opening to the cover?
It's so fantastic because ForceWorks is invented in 1994 and is canceled in 1995, and right after ForceWorks ends
Yeah.
during the crossing, which will bring about Onslaught, which will bring about Heroes Reborn, which will bring about the bankruptcy. Like, everything
It's all
is
part of-
connected.
Yeah.
We have covered 1994 more than any other period in comics on this show.
You should call this like series of episodes like The Road to Bankruptcy.
It's true. And it's sad because, like, I think that at this point, Marvel is, no one is like, secretly, we're fucked. Like, right now, I think they still think
Yeah, at this
everything
point.
is going great.
Yeah. Well, look how much their comics are worth. Just open up your wizard and see.
Yeah. And
Everybody wants this.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna lie to you at all.
no, well, they better not. I told them how much they're worth, and they put it in their magazine.
Well, why is anyone on this team? I'm looking through this and I'm like, nobody's doing anything. They're
except
just
for-
talking.
Except for what's his name?
Iron Man?
Century.
Century.
Century and Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, but he does something before he dies.
Yeah.
Yes.
He dies because he actually does something, which is a cautionary tale for all of us.
Yeah, you better not be useful.
And that's probably why nobody else does anything in these books.
So the Black Brigade are the answer to Ember. They work for the Serenian government.
Right.
And it's funny because, like, they kind of fight.
So they're
and
the bad
then
guys.
Iron Man's like, whoa, we're working with you. Because,
Whoa,
like,
whoa! These guys kind of look cool, like they're wearing suits of armor too.
We're force working with you.
I wish Iron
Wait.
Man was like, these guys look awesome. I'm going to look like these guys too. But never do they do that.
So Iron Man takes the Black Brigade side?
Yeah.
Aren't they the bad guys?
Well, they're the government, Ethan. Who would consider
Ethan,
the
don't you
government to be the
remember
bad
what
guys?
side of the Civil War he
Well,
was on?
I know, but
Yeah, but that's not
but this other creature who
just
they're
has a history
opposing,
of
what was
making
his
bad
name?
choices.
he does back the
What was that
Stooges.
creature?
Yeah, he created Force
Ember.
Works.
Ember is a representation of the will of the people.
Right, but but they don't
Yeah,
know
but those
that.
people are revolting.
What they know is that there's
They're
this.
horrible. They're just terrible.
They stink on ice.
What they know is there's a giant monster who's bleeding out of his mouth and screaming in a moon language.
Okay, so it's this book is a critique of what Iron Man's doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can respect that.
Yeah, and eventually, like, the cooler heads of the team, like Wanda, realize
They're like,
who
wait a
he
second,
is and what he's
yeah.
all
That's
about.
like an insane. I want you to think about that statement you just made. The cooler heads on the team,
Right.
like Wanda.
Well, at this point.
At this point,
compared
comparatively,
to
yes. Better than Century. By the way, the artist on that issue is just the person who used to draw Avengers West Coast. Anyway, the resultant battle with Ember ends with the guy who is the avatar for Ember, like, falling off a cliff and dying. And they're like, well, all's well that ends well, and they get back on their hex ship and go to the vroom room and hang out. Meanwhile, on their way home, the recorder is like, uh-oh, another problem. Click. At some point or other later down the line, recorder will do that, and Sentry's gonna be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And recorder's like,
Hey, I saw you turn that off.
good luck getting them to believe you. You have a complicated history, and you're some rando. I'm a recorder. At least they know what the Rigelians are. And he's like, oh yeah? And then they fight, and he chops off his head.
Suck my Rigelian dick.
And then what you think it would happen doesn't happen. Where you think, oh, well, this means that they're going to distrust Century, and then all of Force Works will fight the Century over this misunderstanding. Nope. They're just like, oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, right on.
Why are the Scatterback?
I mean, it's probably because the Monitor is untrustworthy from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was a turncoat. Okay, yeah, no, that tracks.
Yeah. At some point after issue 2, the books have epilogues that are catching up the reader with everything and anything that's happening, not just within the pages that they just read, but also with the team that they are unfamiliar with. So their press person, Amanda Chaney, who will be murdered unceremoniously by Iron Man at the end of this series in The Crossing, is interviewing members of Force Works to get their perspectives so she can come up with, like, you know, what talk show they should appear on and what magazine should write an article about them. But it's essentially just a storytelling device to tell the reader who these characters are and why they should give a shit about them.
No, but this is that the babysitter?
No, that's Fisher. Fisher works for Tony Stark at the Works, and he wants to bang Spider-Woman. So he thinks that all he needs to do is make friends with Rachel. So Fisher, a full-grown man, hangs out with Rachel, a small child, the entire book, and never do Julia and Fisher even get remotely close to hooking up. But Fisher does leave, and Rachel never sees him again. So,
Oh, good.
things work out great for everybody.
I mean, to be fair, she's probably better off without him.
I agree. At the very least,
What is
it's
this
just
shirt?
not appropriate.
Yeah.
What is this shirt?
It's a West Coast shirt. It's a shirt made of hemp, Ethan.
I mean, I can see that. And a
So-
toolbox?
Yeah.
He's got a
Oh
tool.
no, he's a mechanic. or a technician.
The recorder.
Oh, he's the super.
The recorder locks them in and makes it
In the room.
in the room and makes it dangerous. There's a child in there.
Yeah, he's a stone cold robot. He has no soul. He doesn't care for the livelihood of
He
children.
just wants to see.
He doesn't
Julia
know any
be
better.
Heroic.
Well, that's the presumption, but it turns out he's actually just a double agent that's there to reenact the scheme, which is to blow up the Earth. Like
They haven't given up that. But I thought they fell into
So
a
the
black
Kree
hole.
thing's coming all back around.
It all comes
It's the
back
Kree.
around.
Oh, it's the Kree.
The
Right, right, right.
Kree are
Right,
arrested
that's
and
right.
go to the
It's the
vault.
scatter.
And then, by the way,
Forgot that was a recap.
yeah,
that I
no.
saw, yeah.
Later down the line, the Kree will come back and go, excuse me, you have some of our soldiers in your human American prison, and we'd like them back.
Right.
And so then they
Yeah.
get them back, or rather, actually, they don't, because the soldiers that were introduced in the first issue escape and then try and do it all over again.
Right, so we have to do that again.
And then we just do it again.
I mean, isn't that just any comic book villain?
Yeah, but like
They put them in jail,
what-
they escape, they do the same thing.
Yeah, and they are, I guess, Force works as villains
Yeah.
because they have names.
Yes, named Kree.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
and they're distinct looking.
Are we going back in time in this book?
no.
Flashback.
They go to Australia. In the event, Hands of the Mandarin, there are
I guess we are going to
stories that are
Look what happened.
in Hands of the Mandarin, Iron Man and Forceworks and War Machine are all mixed up together. This book does not collect the Iron Man issues or the War Machine issues, despite the fact that the book is called Avengers Iron Man Forceworks. Instead, it only collects the Forceworks issues and gives you a half-assed paragraph explanation for what happened in the issues they didn't collect at the top of the covers
To be
for the
fair-
books they collect.
Nice.
Bite me.
To be fair, the entire book was half-assed.
I mean, I don't think so. They put a lot of effort into it. There's so much
Put
going
a lot
on.
of stuff into it.
Yeah, but
snappy
Abnett and
dialogue.
Lanning are trying. And every issue, you can't deny, has something intricate taking place. I've seen books where no effort is put in.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it
there's-
feels like it is complicated. I cite any Howard Mackey book.
How dare you be correct?
Compare Forceworks to the Danny Ketch run and tell me which book has more going on in it.
I would rather read.
I would
Danny Ketch
rather
any day of the week
same
than read this.
Same, because at least that has some like fun magic in it.
There's
This
some-
has the century in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The problem with this book, okay,
Yeah.
there are some ideas, and they're
Every
trying
issue has
things,
ideas.
and that's fine. But that's all behind the scenes. That's like the background.
Yes,
Front and center is horrible characters.
and I wish that
and that's the problem.
the worst of it
they're
is-
just unsympathetic, uninteresting characters.
and that's the problem.
Scenarios are kind of interesting.
Yeah, the scenarios are interesting, and the presupposition that this is more or less Marvel's answer to a Justice League book that came out 10 years prior and changed the game is that Justice League International was character first. It was all about these particular characters and personalities bouncing off each other. And they would do things like invade other countries
Yeah.
or deal with alien invasions and so
Yeah.
forth. It was the same shit, but it just didn't have the same priorities.
Yeah.
Abnett and Lanning are world builders, they are sci-fi writers, they are 2000 AD British contemporaries. DeMatteis, Giffen, and Maguire, they invented Bwahaha.
Oh yeah.
It's just joking around and having a good time.
Yeah.
It's just doing things they've never seen before in comics. These guys are doing things they've always wanted to do in comics. And one is a classic, and the other is Forceworks.
Well, in fairness to them, like they are somewhat trapped.
They are
by the time that they are
they're
writing
hamstrung
this.
by
It's like,
everything.
like you gotta put this shit in.
Yeah,
You
no,
gotta
it's
put
'cause
this
it'll
image
sell.
crap in
yeah,
there.
it's why Justice League International never looks like an Image book, because Image doesn't exist yet. They
Yeah.
don't know to do it. But it is why in Morrison's Doom Patrol, there absolutely is an issue of Doom Patrol that is a total send-up of Liefeld. It's pre-Image, though. It's during the artist invasion of Marvel. And so Morrison is making fun of that via DC. But little did they know, Image was a-coming.
Additionally, you're totally right about them just not including the ends of these things. Because I'm like, wait, at the end of this, Mandarin has his parallax,
Yes, the Mandarin steals Sentry's parallax.
and then he just has it again. By the way,
Yes.
I can't believe you didn't wait to do this to the holidays when there's a holiday issue in here.
Well,
I
of
know.
course it's gonna be a
Tidings
holiday
of
issue.
comfort and joy, and then
Yeah.
over here it says, "Guess who's coming to Christmas dinner?"
Who do you think that is?
Well, okay, so
Who does this book want you to think that is?
Yeah, wants you to think it's Wolverine.
Of course it makes you want to think it's Wolverine.
It's not though.
It is absolutely not Wolverine. And for a minute I thought it was D-Man.
Is it Black Panther?
It is not Black Panther.
Oh.
Is it Puck?
Is
It
it
is
Batman?
not Puck.
Yeah, it's Batman.
no cape.
Oh yeah, it's
right.
Batman Beyond.
Right.
Yeah, it's Buttman.
This book really wants you to think.
Do we?
Made Iron Man like
It's
frowning.
So no.
That's what his face
I'm
does.
so sad. Why would they care about him? I'm in this book.
Oh my God, is it Hawkeye?
Yes, it's Hawkeye.
That is not Hawkeye. That's Hawkeye. That is not Hawkeye.
It will-
That sucks.
It's about to be.
What's great is when they reveal Hawkeye, and it's just like they just make his mask do that, and you're like, oh, but that's not what your mask does. And they're like, yeah, moving on.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
anyway.
They're just doing a holiday.
Yeah, it's
issue.
just it's a Christmas issue where like
It's
He's just saying humbug over and over again.
Yeah, he's absorbing it, you know? He's like
Why
a child.
couldn't they just make it anybody? He could have made it Wolverine. It's a comic.
I know.
It's not like he can't show up.
Okay, there are 2 reasons why it's not Wolverine. The first one is, thematically, it needs to be Hawkeye because they want Hawkeye to, be represented. He doesn't have a book anymore. And when I say a book, I mean an Avengers book. Because he would have been in / leading the Avengers West Coast. He's not, and he's gone. Also, he's mad because
And he's not invited to Force Works.
Yeah, well, no, he quit before that. He left because his wife was murdered by Mephisto. So he's upset, and so he has an axe to grind, not a parallax, that is. So Hawkeye makes the most sense because, we want, if anyone else was going to join Force Works, it's Hawkeye. The other reason why they can't be Wolverine is because it's 94. We're at a period where we may, in fact, have a multitude of editors-in-chief. And I've said this a couple times, but it would have been easier for characters in the Marvel Universe to cross over with Superman than each other if it was in a particular family of books. So it's I can imagine them desperately wanting to do Wolverine. I'll bet they wanted to make the silhouette look more like Wolverine and couldn't.
Why does Captain America have all these pouches?
He's trying to fit in.
He's got a pouch for every ab.
He's like, it's 1994, I gotta fit in.
Bubbles just told me I need to wear these.
Yeah, I was told I needed more pouches and belts.
Yeah.
So
I promise you it's an editor's note. I promise you they told him, but Captain America doesn't look like that right now. He's wearing this shit. And he won't in the next issue, but he is right now.
But how can I carry all of my officially licensed Marvel trading cards on me at all times?
It's as though
And my participating fruit roll-ups.
it's like someone sent him some pouches. They're just thinking he should just put on one set.
Yeah,
and he
pick
put
your
them
favorite pouch.
Or it's a belt, and he put it on wrong.
Everyone sent him a pouch for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I'm wearing my holiday list.
I told too many people I'd wear their pouches.
Yeah.
This is a mistake.
I'm trying to get it all the way in one day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kill the pouch thing.
This message is brought to you today by pouches.
He's like, hey, I look as cool as you guys. Yeah, it's like Dad,
Oh.
playing video games.
Ew, no. Actually, I think I hate pouches.
Actually, I think pouches are kind of the worst.
Oh, rats! I guess we'll have to look like ourselves now.
You slick son of a bitch.
That'd be so funny if Marvel was trying to do that.
We'll just add more pouches.
Just keep putting more pouches on until people think
Until
it's
people
stupid.
demand it looks like it did. And that was my problem earlier where I'm like, Justice League International is all about character.
Yeah.
You could make this team work if they all had personalities.
Yeah.
But
You
they
make Force Works work.
You could make Force work, but it doesn't because I don't care about anybody.
Yeah.
And what's worse is these same characters were already working
Right.
in Avengers West Coast.
But it wasn't selling.
And that's where the problem is.
Yep.
And it's so then what you needed to do was reboot. You needed a new team of new characters. And I think that
No, what I needed was to make them extreme
Yes.
and crazy.
And I think that's their problem is that they didn't want to lose the team.
Yeah.
B, they didn't want to lose the old readers. And C, they thought that since the book was selling so bad that they
couldn't get any worse.
well, that they could introduce these old characters to new readers like they're new anyway because you're not even reading the book. You don't.
Right.
You're not
How- you
complaining
don't
about
even
old
know-
characters. You don't even know who these people are.
Yeah. As far as you know, these are new hotness.
Yeah.
Why does he give Recorder?
A camcorder?
Yeah.
Well, because Recorder's recording for himself and for the Rigelians, presumably.
Yeah, I can't get into his recording brain
Yeah,
thing.
I want you to film this party because
yourself useful
this is
to us
the,
for
this is
what
the
to
first,
change.
last, and only Christmas party where Force works. And I want to, watch the old video and masturbate.
Yeah, you're
to it.
recording anyway. Record for us.
Yeah, exactly, son of a bitch. You're taking up space.
I see Agatha Harkness is here.
Of course, Wanda's here.
So she gets a recurring character at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's not
Hank-
just the
Hank
Tony
Pym
show.
was here too.
Hank Pym was there.
It's slap anybody lately or?
Oh man, I'm never gonna live that down, am I? I was Yellow Jacket when that happened. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry, were you not Hank Pym?
Yeah, I was Hank Pym.
Why is he so mad?
Because his wife was killed by Mephisto, and he wasn't invited to join the team, and he was having a problem with Iron Man to begin with. Anyway, well, the point of that story is they want to invite Hawkeye. Iron Man apologizes to the team for being a dick, as always, and for keeping all of his ideas and stuff secret, even though he didn't, but he also did. and for stepping on Wanda's toes. Like, he's basically just like, there's a time for new beginnings and stuff. A couple of ghosts visited me while I was sleeping the other day, and I'm changing my... And so he crassly, like, makes fun of Hawkeye before ultimately then saying, he's like, Hawkeye with his boorish attitude and his hot-headedness, even he is great, and I'm sorry for treating him badly. But Hawkeye listens in on that conversation only for the first half,
part, yeah.
and then turns it off and leaves in a huff.
It's my favorite trope.
Yeah, I love when that happens, and I'm never tired of it.
I think I hate Sentry.
He is the worst,
Because
and I hate him too.
Now he reminds me of Pariah.
Well, because he is Pariah.
He's like, I see.
Oh, I killed all these people.
He's like, my child and with her my life, and I see their faces, but I can't remember their names. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't know you at all. Shut up.
Well, he's also supposed to be a Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
He's a lot of things.
He's everything.
He's everything. He's a lot of
Sentry has many
ideas.
powers.
He's a famous bull visually and thematically.
Yes.
Yep.
Did all those other 100 people that are put into him also lose their families and children?
Yeah, right?
Or is it like one of them, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's baffling.
Can't he just remember somebody else's family?
Right?
Just pick a different
Did you
one.
even have a family?
Just
You're
focus on
100
a
people.
different one of
Yeah.
your. Does he have like multiple personality disorder? Like, do different ones
take
of
over.
Oh, and this one is Pariah.
Right. The concept is more or less that, like, when you squish 100 people into one person, you get a new person.
Right.
He's Tuvix.
But how does he have like memory, like the memories of?
Because I squished 100 people into one person.
So it's not going to
Really
make a
gotta
lot of
jam that
sense.
flavor in
Well, and
there.
I've been around for a long time. Maybe I did have families.
Why is he sitting here like he's part of the team?
Because
I was
he's
invited.
hoping to be.
Hey, where you guys going? You guys gonna have a little meeting? Maybe I could come too.
I'm sorry, but the party's over.
Who let you in?
You gonna have a meeting? Maybe we could roll something. Puff puff pass.
You're talking to an alcoholic. Get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Okay, sip sip pass. I'm
Yeah,
open.
whatever. I'm not.
God! Iron Man, could you remove our guest here?
No, he's
Whoa,
not hurting
whoa,
anybody.
It's the holidays.
Yeah. So I love Sentry. He like cries into the camcorder and then like goes, "Hey recorder, can I get that tape when you're done with it?" And then watches his own testimonial over and over and over again. And I'm like, "But you can just remember saying that. You were thinking it when you said it. Like, what's the matter with you?"
I mean, there's a lot the matter with him.
Sorry.
Is
Is that a dinosaur?
No,
It
they're
looks like a dinosaur.
yeah, they're dream monsters that are
In the Australian outback, you don't say.
yeah.
Interesting.
Are they going on a walkabout?
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. The designs of these characters in the Outback.
Yes.
So, I have a question. How are we going to end this episode?
Yeah, when is this done? When are we over?
When you stop asking questions about what you're seeing in the book.
Oh,
You need to stop. You need to stop turning the page.
No, I
It will never
can't.
end if
But
you
look
don't
at her
stop.
giant web.
Yeah, they're all being
this
attacked. They're all being attacked in the Mindscape by like these
By Mr. Gone?
yeah, no. Oh, I'm very aliens landed and they learned about dreams
aliens?
and a guy finds their ship and it like interfaces with him and he's and then
ancient
a guy,
aliens.
Yeah, it's ancient aliens. And so they make a new friend named Willie Walkaway, and Willie Walkaway was like a detective on the police force in Australia, puts on his ceremonial outfit to help with the dream monsters that are being psychically projected into people's minds and also they're physically happening.
Well, he can also use the magnet to like move his hair around into different spots on his face.
That's Willie you're thinking of. It's a
No,
completely
this is
different
Willy
character.
Willy Walkaway.
Willie Walkaway is also like auditioning
kinda
to
cool.
join the Force Works. Like clearly, I mean, like what's Willie Walk? You invented him for the story, and then like they,
Everybody wants to be.
and then they leave, and we never see Willie Walkaway again.
He's like, well, yeah, my powers only work in
Did you
Australia.
like that Willy Walkaway? Huh? You guys?
No?
Okay.
Oh damn. Okay.
Then, all right.
yeah.
Oh, we won't see my give.
Right. All right.
We're just trying things, you
Yeah.
know?
Is this Amanda letting him go?
Who?
It's like, listen, Sentry.
No,
it's
she's
really-
not firing
you're
the Century.
You're overly designed and very complicated.
Yeah.
It's
not working.
You're not pulling well with
Yeah.
our audience.
I'm just saying, we're at a funeral. Everyone's
still dressed like
everyone's in formal attire, and you're wearing 7 faces.
It's 9.
Look, I
it's
could-
9 faces, Ben.
I could work harder. I could add more faces.
No,
It has
that's
nothing see, that's actually part of the problem is that you can't recognize that there is a problem.
yeah.
So it's just that right now.
And I'm just trying to get ahead.
That's what makes this so difficult.
It's
Now they have a memorial for Simon because he's
for
not.
this book because
Because
Why did it take them like 8 issues to have a memorial?
because
There's been so
because
much
so much stuff has
happening.
been happening. They got to
This
go to
wasn't
Australia
time.
and deal with
Yeah.
dream skeletons. Slorenia
favorite
Hey, the
comes
Black
guys are
Brigade are back.
Guess who's back?
Yay! Back again.
We are here from Slorania.
All right, let's just guess. Is this the issue in which Iron Man realizes he was completely incorrect
Yes.
in that and read the room wrong entirely in Slorenia and now has to go back and try to win over the people and fight back against the totalitarian regime?
I mean, I wish that like the people factored into this in any way, but like no. Also,
We're
the
done with the
Slorenian
people.
government's being manipulated by another evil
Alien?
party. No, it's not.
That's what I was
Yeah, is it the scatter? Are they filled with bugs?
No.
Is it the Targoth? Watch out, they're here!
Yeah, you're dealing with the Targoth now, another alien race.
Wait,
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yep. You called it.
No, the
hey, wait, I've written myself
No.
into a corner. It's
No,
aliens!
these are not aliens. The Targoth are minions of the antithesis to Ember. You know, Ember is a representative totemically of the people. Well,
Right.
the fascist government also has their own totem, and he is the evil complement to Ember, even though Ember looks like an evil
Is
demon.
this like weird Captain Planet?
I don't want to tell people how to live their lives, but like at this point, just leave Slorenia.
Right.
Clearly, this is it's a fucked up place.
Yeah.
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 Where
We
like,
should not be involved.
Right? Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine?
It's got nothing to do with
Yo,
us.
these people, y'all need to get out. You need to
Why
go
didn't
somewhere
they do a
else.
story in ForceWorks where like Uncle Sam appears and there's an evil version of him?
Yes. This is the evil version of him who's like
There he
the
is.
like southern plantation owner. Oh,
There he is.
that's cool.
Right? He's fun
No.
too. See,
No, it is
this book
not.
gets everybody. Ben was like,
Look
"Oh,
at that
Black
shit.
Brigade."
I
You're
have-
like, I don't remember what this
It
guy's
has
name
not
is.
hit me.
It's just wait, where the book isn't over yet. But Ethan got pulled in by the Slorenian evil
That's kind of dope.
guy.
What's his name?
Ben like the Black Brigade. Ethan's a big fan of Volk.
Hey, look, you look sad.
Yeah, well, he's gonna like absorb life energy so that he can have the power to destroy everybody.
What?
You're looking at the Century one shot.
Why are there more bugs and aliens?
Well, because
That's
Century
all we
comes from
know how to do.
space. That's all I know how to do. Okay, so
That's an Akira thing.
yeah.
See, you like the Akira bike.
Sentry
Well,
ends
cleavage.
up at some point or another, like, you know, because of the Christmas party and stuff, and because he was separated from Parallax and
Nice.
crap, he ends up going into space to try and figure out the truth of his identity and his whole origin. The one shot explains all that, and then they put it at the end of the book. So, in between random issues, towards the end of ForceWorks, the collective volume, Sentry leaves and then immediately returns. So it's like he
this
never
happened.
left. And this happened. And he's like, oh, I got my tragic backstory, and I think I'm just gonna stay on Earth. And yeah, so
You know what? I kind of suck.
well, he's
Where
like,
am I looking?
I like Earth. Earth is cool. I'm gonna stay here. He was from a moon
He
named
finds out he's
Memoriam.
100 people.
He finds out he finds these other aliens that like help
He's
him.
from a moon named
no,
In Memoriam.
Memoriam.
The 100 people that make him up are from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like Memoriam is the name of the place that he's from because they were annihilated as well, and so
Right.
they made that. He was also manipulated and transformed by, or manipulated and mind wiped by Lore, and he ends up going with him to stop him / learn more about his origins. And then when he
Right.
comes back to Earth, he's like, all right, my tragic backstory is resolved, and I'm ready to just be a cool Marvel character. And they're like, oh, you didn't hear that Tony went nuts, worked for Kang, and died? Because I guess ForceWorks is over. And he's like, what?
Oh.
And they're like, yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, now you know how Wonder Man felt.
Yeah. Also, it's funny because throughout like the book for a while, they're like, so Wonder Man's like energy, can we just bring him back? And then
Right.
when they're dealing with
'cause
Cybermancer
didn't he
and all the monster
Go
bullshit.
away before and then come back?
Yeah, he's done that a million times. So they're like, oh, he's dead. Sure, we'll just get him back. And then they find out that like they can't this time, so he's definitely dead. So they have the memoriam for him.
I see.
Not to be confused with the moon that Sentry is actually from, which is also called memoriam. So they have the memoriam for Simon / Wonder Man, he's dead. Don't worry about him anymore. He's never going to join ForceWorks.
He was old and busted anyway.
Sentry finds out the history of his origins, and he's excited about that and ready to be a full-fledged member of ForceWorks. We have the breakout from the vault, and the other Kree, and the Recorder comes back, and he's more or less like Sentry's Joker. At that point, like he's the arch nemesis for the Sentry because Sentry, he fought at one point. And then like the book gets roped up in the Crossing, and so they're dealing with like Cybermancer and time travel, and they end up actually bumping into Wonder Man, who's from the future, and
So he does come back.
well, you think, oh great, he'll just join the team because he misses his colleagues, and they're all dead from the war with Kang and stuff. But then they stop Kang, and so they all disappear. Last of whom is Wonder Man, who's like, oh, I guess I died anyway, bye. And then he goes away, so he doesn't join the team, nor does he come back to life. He will, but not right now, and not in this book. And so, the Crossing happens, and we did that already, so we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then it's over. But the
Yeah.
book keeps going.
What?
And the Rigelians are like, oh, we want our Recorder back. And it turns out that like the Recorder was reprogrammed by the Kree, and the Skrulls show up because the Skrulls are some kind of like a war tribunal. And they're like, hey, we got to deal with all this. And they don't. And they're like spanked hard. And ForceWorks kind of justifies their own existence and then is disbanded because Iron Man's dead. It's great because like, Iron Man's gone. I don't know who owns the works. Who does that go to?
That's already paid for.
Jarvis?
Well, he didn't have any
Pluto?
heirs.
Goes to Homer or
And that's the thing.
Plato
It goes,
or-
yeah, Plato.
I guess it goes to the state.
and it's off the books though. Like nobody knows it exists. So
I
I'm
guess
assuming
it goes to Wanda.
right.
She was supposed to be leading the team
but
anyway.
she bails, to rejoin the Avengers. And so, I'm assuming Plato just kind of runs it, or just keeps the lights on. But the Chaos Computer's still running, which is another great MacGuffin that I'm like, ooh, bring back the Chaos Computer.
Yeah, right?
Like it's been
all
running
just there.
and then you could have somebody like find the works and then like check the computer and it says like Civil War, Secret Invasion,
Oh my
like
God.
Fear Itself. That's like, oh man, we could have
Yeah.
stopped all these things if we just never canceled Force.
And the Recorder's just like, snooze, snooze,
Yeah.
snooze.
Well, no, it's snooze because no one's in the works anymore. But
Yeah.
they kill.
They go
Recorder.
in, there's just like red lights flashing everywhere, and
Yeah.
there's just like this list of all these things that's been stacking
and
up.
unresolved. Yeah.
It's like,
And they're all relected. They're all connected to each other.
yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh, man.
That would have been
Spider-Man and Mary Jane's marriage.
It just says Mephisto.
right, Mephisto. They rebooted ForceWorks and they didn't do that.
Yeah,
outrageous.
Of course not. Of course not.
But but the Chaos Computer's still running, and they're like, well, the Chaos Computer says one more thing. Let's be ForceWorks one last time, and they run off into the sunset. And I'm like, who's gonna come back and turn it off? And also, that computer's kind of a problem. So yeah, ForceWorks just kind of like ends with a whimper. It does end like they know it's going to, so at least they get to like have a send off. This book unfortunately ends really unsatisfactorily because it ends with a Century one-shot where we all just focus on him and new, annoying, boring, complicated aliens, and aliens that look like regular people too, and you're like, oh my god, what? And there's no context for it because the Century is a new character, and all
sorry,
the crap we invented is all for this.
The blonde woman an alien?
Yes, she's also part of it.
See, she has to look like a human because she has to look hot.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to bang the purple guy.
No, you
is
don't.
Is she a bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're all bad guys. You don't want him to hang out with any of them.
Okay, whatever.
Well, I mean,
I don't
so's
wanna-
he. He kind
He
of sucks.
cuts off this person's head, and then for 3 panels we watch the body.
That's because he is the key to Century's like betrayal of people and his working for the Scatter. This guy sold the Century to the Scatter and used him as a tracking tool to lure
They
unsuspecting
really
civilizations
think
to
people
him.
cared this much about the Century that they're like, we gotta get this.
We got to
I mean,
get
look, he only got
Century
one
working.
issue.
We're gonna get this.
NFL
issue.
Super Pro had a series.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
Damn you.
the writers, was it Abnett and
Lanning
wrote this issue?
They
right?
wrote all of them.
Really putting a lot of faith in
U.S. Agent.
in U.S. Agent's ability to like wordsmith in his brain because he's in Julia Carpenter's apartment
Yeah.
with a Totoro doll. First of all, says spy was here. The dissolving gossamer of silence is proof of that. And I'm like,
No, Jack, you did not say that.
Nope.
You don't even know what a gossamer is.
Sure I do. She was the daughter in like Darkwing Duck?
That's Gosling.
Damn it!
The collection also includes the Marvel swimsuit edition pinups of members of ForceWorks.
I really hope Century is in there.
Oh my god.
I mean, he would be horripped. Be great to see him without all that crap on him.
There's Wonder Man though.
Yeah, why not?
Who is this?
A babe.
Yeah, a winged babe.
There's another one over here.
Yeah, she's a fairy, man.
Oh,
one
yeah, because
there.
I mean, there's a almost naked guy.
Well,
we gotta get some
obviously
chicks
he's
in there.
dead, so he's like wherever.
Oh yeah.
This
this
is
is
heaven.
This is his.
This is his heaven. Yep.
He's
I
like,
believe
look,
that.
I got a type, and that type doesn't exist.
I gotta type. It's
Green
That type is
antennae.
they're
unreal.
animated with wings.
It's sexy bugs.
Oh, he's gonna
Have
love
you ever
Bug
wanted
Boy.
just
Hey man, there's no kink
Fuck
shaming
the
here.
caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland?
No.
But like if she was a sexy caterpillar.
No,
No guard.
Can't say that I have.
not at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't like this. It doesn't make any sense, and it's stupid.
I mean, look.
Well, it would have made
makes
more
sense
sense
when
if
you
you
read it.
read it.
Does it?
Yes.
It
No,
probably
I-
still would have been
it
stupid.
all feeds
but
into itself.
it doesn't make any sense from a lot of perspectives in terms of like.
It's like,
it
why
was
would you do
created.
that?
Right, like,
Yeah.
Why would you think this was gonna work? What are you actually trying to accomplish?
Yeah, like whose
Too many things.
idea is this?
It's
Whose
too much. It's
project is this? Like,
Like you're trying
Yeah.
to do, like you're like, all right, well, we'll cancel West Coast Avengers, which is or is not working. We're gonna start this up. We're gonna use it to do something. We're gonna introduce a new character. Where maybe we're trying to launch that.
at the very least, we want Century working, and we think the best method to distribute that character to the audience is via ForceWorks.
Yeah.
And
well, it's like,
it
hey,
demonstrably does not.
You've got that ForceWorks book going on. That's a perfect vehicle for Century.
Who? Oh, he's a character I just made up.
This new character, we've got to get him working.
We know that's how that works.
the future of
because
this company.
That's how Onslaught happened. Because Scott Lobdell pitched Onslaught as like, so then Juggernaut is like laid out on the lawn of Xavier's mansion, and he just goes, Onslaught. And they're like, what is that? He's like, he's a dude who can punch the Juggernaut. And they're like, what does that
Figure it
mean?
out.
God, look, I already gave you the gold. You have to forge it into.
You just have to get there.
Right, you have to ruin every book in order to make that happen.
Yeah.
This is the only book that you could ever say that you could judge it by its cover.
Oh
But
no.
why?
What is all that?
What's the point of this?
Exactly.
What?
It also makes
got
sense
it.
that like,
What?
yes, this was just a device to give you the Century because we had to get rid of a character in order to get you there.
Yeah, we got to
Yes.
kill Wonder Man.
Yeah, but Wonder Man also hadn't been there.
No.
Like, he showed up and then immediately died.
I also love that the
But
gimmick.
he died and created an opening.
Yes.
Right, yes.
He left a vacancy.
An opening that wasn't there.
An opening that had not been there.
He signs on to ForceWorks with Iron Man.
Yeah, but he hadn't been on West Coast Avengers.
No, but he had been previously.
Like, West Coast Avengers worked fine without some big superpowered guy.
Yes, that's true. But look at how much better it worked with the Century. He stopped the recorder.
Right. And he looked totally badass and cool.
And, deep
That's the problem. Wonder Man didn't have enough faces on him. He only had the one face.
and like
Gotta
a big
have at
W.
least 8 faces.
Lame. I also want to say the book itself, like the book features the team of ForceWorks. When you open it up, it requires Wonder Man's sacrifice. Wonder Man is the old,
That's-
ForceWorks is the new.
that's the
and
key
also
to the
old.
whole
But all
thing.
the characters are old except the one.
That's true.
So
and
shouldn't all of them die?
yeah, but
Where are
also
their
Century
t-shirts?
isn't on the cover. Yeah, and I'm wondering also where the ForceWorks tank top is. Like
I
I
don't
saw
even
it.
see it in here.
It's in the second issue.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta get that second issue. That's the one that Scarlet Witch was wearing.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch was wearing.
The sexy
right,
workout
you're right.
outfit.
You're
all
right.
in.
Yeah.
I was so not paying attention to that.
That's
weird.
Weird.
There you go.
Oh, there. Yeah. she's
Oh yeah,
wearing
that's
it too.
a different shirt, by the way.
that's
They have
another
multiple
What does that
different
say?
articles of clothing. The better at what we do.
The better at what we do.
Instead of the best
What?
at what we do.
Force works, the better at what we do.
Yeah,
Could be a
they're even
sentence
better
or
than
a
Wolverine.
tagline. I think it is a
Look,
play on
it's
the
not
best at what
grammar works. Can I just talk about how fucking horrible their font is? Like, this sucks.
I
Graphic
want it-
design also not working for them.
I need a shirt with it on it. I need it to say ForceWorks. I want it. So
I don't
bad.
mind it.
It looks
Me too.
so half-assed. Like, it's just like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? What? I don't know what this is supposed to be.
it's supposed to be in your face.
Yeah.
It's pooch.
But it's also like goofy.
I mean,
You know, you can do like scrawled and
Yeah.
make it like cool and
It needs to
dangerous
be-
looking. It's like
it needs to be legible. I need to be able to make it out and also have it
It's meant to
be.
be like they're unrefined.
Yes.
right. Like
They're,
they're
like,
Avengers is
I don't
clean and
care.
polished. It's got a whole
Like,
font.
We're dangerous.
That's right.
You don't know what's coming your way. There's 2 TMs on mine because they didn't align it properly. That's what we're talking about here.
yeah, but you also have like
do
a
you see the Avengers doing that? No.
Yeah.
but you're also run by like a billionaire in like a compound
And he's dangerous.
with a computer that predicts the future. Like none of that is conveyed by
You
this.
don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a
There's-
Gen 13 font.
Yeah, but
like what is this?
It matches this energy.
Kind of.
It matches
yeah.
Yeah,
this
big
energy.
C energy.
Yeah,
so
a
you
little
got that
bit.
tank
Yeah.
top?
Yeah, this.
Those got that tank top.
Like ignore all the other people on this cover. That's what this is about.
It's also, but I'm getting from this like West Coast inline skates.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
you know,
that's cool.
like beach.
Right. That's great.
But that was West Coast Avengers. You're explicitly not that anymore.
No, but we still are former Avengers on the West Coast.
yeah, but only if I read
West
that
Coast,
book.
West
and,
Coast.
West Coast.
Like if I'm new to this, I'm like, what is this? And I'm not seeing lots of panels of like skateboarders
No.
and like beachgoers and shit, which
Well,
I
none
would
of these
expect
people would do
with
that.
this.
We have a hardcore conservative, a Romanian witch, a
Yeah.
billionaire industrialist,
Then
war
why are you in
single mom.
California?
a single mom,
Like,
and
what is
a
the point
corpse.
of putting this team in California if you're not going to show me California
They
stuff?
were already in California, and now they're gonna go
That's
from
just where they
California
were.
to all over the world
And space and shit.
and space and shit. Yeah.
It's like the fact that they're based in California has
Is
no bearing on
immaterial
anything.
to
Yeah,
everything
they
else.
could be anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Happy 600. We did it.
This sucks.
Force works.
Happy?
Well, you know, we did it.
Boo!
I'm sorry.
Boo!
Boo this man!
Look, would you rather we did like Watchmen or something? I mean, come on. Or like The Walking Dead. Really? Do you
Yes.
think that would have been a better episode?
Oh,
The Walking
not
Dead?
necessarily.
Force works?
100%.
Yes.
The
How
Walking-
dare
no,
all of
it
you.
would not. It would not. The Walking Dead, no. That
No.
would be, it's a good book, but it wouldn't be as entertaining.
We'll see by episode 700. But thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and for always watching. We do appreciate it, all of us from here, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
Keep reading.
I'm dying!
Woohoo! I'm out! He's just celebrating that he gets to
Yeah,
leave.
Yep.
that's not anguish.
Nope.
That's joy.
He saw chaos. Chaos told him what was coming, and he was like,
Yeah, you know
I
what
think I'll
happened?
sacrifice myself
He's
to save
not
the world.
sneering.
Cool.
He's celebrating. It's like he heard the pitch from Iron Man. He's like, it's called Force Works, and he immediately checked out.
He's like,
I'm gonna fake my death. It's the only way to get out of this.
It's like, okay, all right. Ooh, I see an opportunity here.
You had me at Force Works. And when I say had me, I mean lost me.